We represent destruction, nigga. Death, mayhem, murder, and madness, nigga. You try me, you're gonna die. You try to score, you're gonna die.
4-0, baby. 4-0.
I'm going to bed. Fuck
no one believed in us.
This is really how we're starting. This is really.
Tell me you're white. Tell me you're white without telling me you're white.
Boy, is this a stupid way to start the podcast?
My brother down the road.
I don't try to, because I know I'm white. I don't try to act.
This is all about Michigan right now. This is the biggest win in a long time.
Welcome to the Football Stooges. That's your host, Lob City, doing the stupidest opening to a football podcast imaginable.
Also,
while his wife screams in the background at the Packers-Lions game.
I'm overstimulated.
It is a crazy week right now.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah. There's just a lot going down. There's so much going down. So yeah, welcome to the Football Stooges, the stupidest way to cover football imaginable.
And like I said, that was the stupidest way to start a podcast.
It was very stupid.
Take the fucking chain off, dude.
Big Michigan fan. I'm not taking off till we're done talking about college football. Taking off after that, I understand. But I'm going to keep it on right now because this is where it's at right now. So there's a lot to talk about football this week. I can't do it myself. There's college, NFL, all the stuff. So without further ado, my compatriots in Stoogery. We're down one today, but we're still fighting at full strength. First up, the Philly man himself, the here for 99.9% of all Football Stooges episodes, the Purell hand sanitizer, and he's about the same damn color. It's Mastodon.
Saquon Barkley's being a better running back than Derrick Henry. Hey, that Baltimore Eagles game, Barkley had more rushing yards. I think he had a touchdown.
I do think the MVP status for Barkley dropped a level, though, because somebody else had a really good game, and he's also a quarterback. So
true. They're just not going to count. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say Joe Burrow also, but he's just not on a winning team.
No, I don't think Burrow can win it just because of the team's record, sadly. He is, right now, Burrow is the best quarterback in football, and I think he might be one of the, has an opportunity to be the best player in football, possibly. I think Trent Williams this year has fallen off a little bit with injuries because the best ability is availability. He's been a little iffy there. So it's definitely up there, but Joe Burrow's not going to MVP because of Lou Anarumo and Zach Taylor and the incompetency that is our,
leave me alone.
GM.
Let's bring the other people. Let's bring the other guys.
Next up, Amanda's probably going to be really mad at my wife for spoiling plays because he's somehow always behind, even though he lives in the state where the team is, playing at Squirrelami.
They're playing in fucking Detroit, you idiot.
Yeah, you're still closer, I think.
Yeah, you're still closer than me.
How are you behind? What crackpot site are you watching? Meth streams?
Yes.
Yep.
How's racist chat feeling tonight?
Oh boy.
I don't know. I put it in full screen. I just ignore it.
Yeah, ignore the chat.
Okay. Smart move.
And next up, last but certainly not least, Amanda's probably ignoring everything that any chat has to say about anything Boston sports. It's K-Duff.
I was ignoring a lot of stuff today. Don't worry about it.
Alrighty. Let's get right into it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to first do the crossover grid, and then we're going to go into college football, because there's a lot to talk about with college football. This was the busiest week of college football in a while. Okay, the Axe is in Minneapolis. Deal with it, bro. Okay.
It's not about the Axe.
What is it
Just
about?
be quick with Michigan.
It's
Just
the
be quick
fucking
with
bull
Michigan.
streak.
Oh, look, nothing's going to be, I'm going to talk about Michigan. They beat Ohio State. It's a great thing for Michigan. Other than that, Michigan's going to go play the Outback Bowl against San Diego State. Cool. Our season has not been great. However, any season where Michigan beats Ohio State is a bar minimum 5 out of 10. That's just how it works.
At least you're above 500.
Wah. You won 4 straight Big Ten championships back in 2010 when you were 3. All right.
I'm depressed.
Here we go. Crossover grid. Let's do it. Get right into it. There's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Bears and Giants, Bears and Patriots, then Saints and Giants, and Saints and Patriots. Drew Bledsoe?
I think Bledsoe was ever a Saint.
thought he was a Saint at one point. Maybe I'm tripping.
No, I do know there was a Saint we had at one point.
We can get 10 NFL seasons pretty quick. So 10 plus NFL seasons as a Bear. We could do quite a few bit of people. Maybe.
Did Jay Cutler play for 10 or more seasons?
I don't think he did.
Wow, that's 11. He did.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
wait. 10 plus 10.
Morton
I'm about to
Anderson.
take a shot at my house here. Aaron
2
Rodgers.
losses in the conference championship. Yeah, that could work actually.
Yeah.
Darkness Retreat inbound.
Yeah, fair
2
enough.
losses in a conference championship that was in the
49ers.
Patriots.
You could do the cop out and do Brady. They've lost a couple conference championships.
No.
Randy Moss.
You could do like a lot of his teammates.
Like Julian Edelman or
I was gonna say Randy Moss.
Let's do
Randy Moss only been there for a bit.
Edelnut.
Edelman
2
counts, I
losses
guess.
in a conference championship that was a giant.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Remember, they don't have to be a giant when it happened. They could have been a giant at any point.
I know. It's just I don't even know.
That's what I'm trying to remember. Who
Also, found my new
was the
favorite
giant.
eggnog. It's a quick side quest. Love eggnog. Found my new favorite kind of eggnog. Southern Comfort makes an eggnog. Really fucking good. Not alcoholic.
I legit cannot drink Southern Comfort anymore.
Yeah.
Drinking
That's right.
Citizen cider cider donut apple cider. So
That's the most Bostonian thing I think I've ever heard. Cinnamon apple donut cider flavored beer? Or
hard cider.
Hard cider.
Hard cider.
Wow.
It's not bad. I'll give it that.
That like screamed pumpkin spice at my face. Oh my god. Anyway.
All right, fuck off.
Sorry. Never been to Boston in the fall. 2 losses in conference championship. Linval Joseph? No.
Was he a giant? No.
He was giant. He won a championship with the Giants in one of his first few years.
Oh.
Fuck it, Eli Manning?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, he made Super Bowls, so
I think he lost in one NFC Championship game. That's it.
Not Bill Sims. Could be Tiki Barber, didn't play as long. Let's think of some other like old school Giants. Lawrence Taylor?
Taylor, maybe?
Maybe.
Giants in 2 conference losses. You can do Cullen Jenkins, I think. Maybe.
Nope.
Damn.
Not Strahan. Let's think of something maybe like OBJ.
No,
because
when he went to the conference championship, that was when Tampa. Oh no,
Rams.
That was when the Rams.
Yeah.
He never been to a conference championship game.
Well, he did lose one though with the Ravens last year.
I just thought of I just thought of a Patriots Saints player.
Blake Martinez.
Blake Martinez?
Yeah.
Has he been in? Oh, shit, yeah. That worked. Anyway, Patriots Saints. Yeah, Brandon Cooks.
Oh.
He was a Saint at one point.
That's right.
D-I-N?
D-I-N Cooks, yeah.
Okay. So probably the most popular answer, 53% there. Bears, Giants, Bears, Patriots, and Saints, Giants.
That's tough.
Taysom Hill always a Saint?
Yes. He was drafted by the Saints.
Whoa.
She needs to stop. She needs to stop.
You need
to get a better site to stream from.
Mets streams.
Don't dox him, dude.
Oh my god, everyone knows. Adam Schefter posted Mets streams, bro. Like, what do you want? What? Adam Schefter posted a clip on his Twitter of like something that happened and like a text underneath it that was describing a recent transaction move in the NFL, and it was just a clip of it, or like a touchdown someone had, and it was like a milestone for him. That right there, and the top left, it said MetsStreams.com. Adam Schefter uses Mets. I'm gonna find this image now.
No. Keep moving.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Shockley.
We gotta keep
Jeremy
moving.
Shockley. Jeremy Shockley was a Saint and Giants, if I remember right. Yeah, you're right.
That could work, actually. Yeah.
Lob. Let's keep rolling.
Yeah, let's keep going around.
No, stop.
It's already 11.
No. He's
It's
right here.
late.
I know it's late, but you got to see this. You see that?
Oh, for
Adam
fuck's sake.
Schefter. No TD fumble Texans ball. Metstreams.com.
Cool.
Adam Schefter.
Cool story, bro.
How much
Jeremy
money are you
Shockey
getting
now.
paid? Jeremy Shockey.
There we
shout
go.
out,
Oh my
shout out.
god, that
is
picture looks.
That picture looks like his mugshot.
The closest thing the NFL has ever had to like a biker as an NFL player is Jeremy Shockey. All right. Bears players, Giants, Bears, Patriots.
For Bears Patriots, you could do N'Keal Harry. Nkeal.
Oh, poopy.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, nice. He's like partly translucent. It's a little weird.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Bears,
finally,
Giants.
All right, I'm on Twitch now.
Oh goodness, another one down.
Tiki Barber was always a.
Orange went down
he
again.
went to Tampa Bay, if I remember right.
Right, because he played with Rondé, yeah.
Oh no, he was all Giants. I thought. Oh, he went to UVA. Ugh.
Oh yeah, just look up T Bird. What about Brandon Marshall?
Brandon Marshall.
Wait, which Brandon Marshall?
Oh, we
Oh,
got
that
it.
one.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Urlacher's there. Martellus Bennett, Brandon Cooks, Brandon
Oh,
Marshall.
Bennett was a Bear.
Oh,
Plaxico Burress, Tom Brady. and
Oh,
Aaron
yeah, that would've
Rodgers.
worked.
Oh.
There we go.
Huh.
Alrighty. NFL crossover good complete. And now it is time to discuss the madness. The absolute madness that was called.
So I guess we're not skipping this.
Can't hold anything back now.
This rivalry week was. There was a lot of shit. A lot of shit happened.
Yep.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, the
there were a
$100,000
lot-
fine you and Michigan, and Ohio State are facing is pretty bad.
And
Yeah.
and NC State, UNC got fined. UVA, Virginia Tech got fined for like beginning of the game,
Yeah.
and a couple other schools.
There were fights at BYU and Houston, Utah, and Utah.
BYU
State.
had fights. That's Mormon country.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of different fights. It's just bad.
Huh.
There's
Oh, who's hurt
there were
now?
a lot of brawls. I can't even go over so many different
Oh, never mind.
fights. There's so many different ones. I tried pulling up a list of all of them, and it's just there's too many to go over. There were fights in Georgia Tech, which we'll talk about in a second. That was crazy. There were fights in, obviously, as you saw, a punch was thrown and no one was ejected in USC Notre Dame.
Are you trying to compensate so I don't have to talk about the Michigan Ohio State fight in KDF News?
No, I'm saying that there's that as well, obviously. There's that as well. And I'll have to talk about that as when we go through that as well. But, let's first start
Wick's got a bell rung.
Yeah, let's first start with the college football poll. This is the AP poll.
Good
So
fucking hit.
this is not the last AP poll, but I mean now it's kind of more about the college football poll itself, which is the committee that will determine the college football 12 teams that are going to go into the college football playoff. Oregon still undefeated. I think the only undefeated team left in Division I play, I believe. I don't think anyone else is undefeated this year.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're going to get the number 1 seed unless they lose to Penn State, and even then they still might get it, to be quite honest with you. Well, they won't get the number 1 seed because they're not a division winner, but they're going to get into the college playoff one way or another. They're just going to try to go out and obviously win the Big Ten. They play Penn State, and all I have to say about that is...
Oh, shit.
Oh god.
Oh, my
Funny
God.
that a Bears trying to the Bears. No, it's a clip, but that's just funny.
Yeah, remain
he
calm,
brings the
Penn
Shadow
State.
Sky.
Sean Clifford cannot win win big games against Michigan or Ohio State.
Sean Clifford isn't your starting QB anymore.
No, not Sean Clifford. Who am I saying? Sorry.
Drew Aller.
No, the the coach of Penn State. Why did I say Sean Clifford?
Oh, Franklin.
Oh,
James Franklin.
James Franklin. There it is. Thank you. James Franklin cannot win the games against Michigan. James Franklin cannot win games against Ohio State. James Franklin is going to get his bell rung by Daniel Lanning in Oregon. I would not be surprised if this is a 50-point blowout at all. Texas will be playing Georgia in the SEC championship. They're leading the SEC currently. Obviously, Penn State will play Oregon. They won their rivalry game against Maryland, and there were fights at that game because Penn State put in their second and third string players, and those second and third string players were still scoring on Maryland's first stringers because Maryland and Penn State are on somewhat different levels competition wise.
God forbid they show off some depth in that organization.
Offensive passing
bullshit fucking penalty.
So Notre Dame, they're number 4 in the nation. However, they cannot get a top 4 seed because those 4 seeds are reserved for conference champions. So the best they can get is number 5. They played USC and beat USC, so they don't have an upcoming game. So they have more buys, which is kind of nice. But we'll have to see how that goes for them. Again, they can only get the 5 seed at best. Georgia, as I said, will be playing Texas. They are coming off of a game Friday, all right, where it went to 8 overtimes against Georgia Tech. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes, we know how to count.
8 overtimes. It was the most insane game I've watched in a long time. I believe it was 1 overtime away from tying the record.
Yes.
And again, college overtime is phenomenal because it just is able to constant action, constant drama, constant edge of your seat. It's great. It was incredible. Tennessee beat the living dog shit out of Vandy. Sadly, they're not in a position to play for the SEC championship as both Georgia and Texas are above them. Ohio State lost to Michigan, as you can tell.
I run a QB scramble there.
I am, as I said, I'm a big Michigan fan. My family's big Michigan fans. I was at home back in my house in Ohio for this game, and me and my family all sat around the TV watching the game. And when it started, we were all like, it's been a good 3 years. We got a national championship last year. We're playing with house money. It is what it is. Ohio State's probably going to beat us. At the end of the game, I felt like that one scene from Anchorman where, Will Ferrell's just holding the beer and he's just like, wow, that escalated quickly. I had no idea how we won. I'm not going to lie to you. The play calling from Ryan Day was so abysmal. The fact that he had a probable, a better offensive scheme to pass the ball. Will Johnson was out, our best corner, and our best tight end, Colson Loveland, was also out. Those are 2 of our best, if not our best players. And he didn't throw the ball at all. The man, ran the ball up the middle constantly against Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, who are first-round picks in the NFL draft upcoming next year. And he just ran the ball constantly. I don't understand why. But he did it. The kicker missed a bunch of kicks, and Michigan punched it in when it mattered, and somehow we won with a walk-on 0-star quarterback in Davis Warren starting for us. I mean, Ohio State's still going to make the playoff, but at the same time, this is the worst loss in the game history for Ohio State ever. This is the first time an unranked Michigan team went into Columbus and beat a top 5 Ohio State team since 1950.
Goddamn.
Masterton was 3.
God damn it.
I knew it was coming. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Can we finish?
We're moving on. SMU is in the ACC championship. That's weird to hear, I know. The ACC went down bad. So South Carolina ends up beating Clemson, all right? So Clemson's like, fuck, we can't get in now. But lo and behold, Miami goes and they lose to Syracuse and Kyle McCord. The same day that Kyle McCord's former team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, lose at home to Michigan, the team that kicked him off because they wanted to be better.
So it didn't matter the Clemson-South Carolina game because it was a non-conference game. It was a matter of Miami wins or lose.
Right.
And then and also SMU. So that's it. That was the only thing.
So Miami lost to Syracuse. They're out. This Miami team, I feel like the entire year has won games by the skin of their teeth, and they finally got against a team that beat them and beat them as they should. Miami should not make the playoff at all. This team is dog shit in so many different ways. They don't.
And yet the Raiders are Giants are still going to draft Cam Ward second or third.
Cam
overall.
Ward seems
was
okay.
good.
Cam Ward seems okay. The rest of the team, they play with their food like a 3-year-old. It's bad. But yeah, the ACC championship will be SMU and Clemson. Indiana, 66-0 against Purdue. Not much need to be said there. Boise State won their game. They'll be playing UNLV in the Mountain West Championship. And this is all I'm going to say for who I think should be Heisman.
Ashton Jeanty,
Ashton Jeanty. This guy is disgusting.
who has already confirmed he is NFL bound after this season.
He broke records.
If he hasn't, I would be utterly shocked.
Now, people are also going to say Travis Hunter. Because Travis Hunter plays two positions. However, Travis Hunter is not the best corner or the best wide receiver. He can play both positions very well, and he's top 5 or 10 in both. But Ashton Jeanty is the number 1 running back, bar none. Number 1 in rush yards in the college football, right? Number 1 in rush yards is Ashton Jeanty. Do you know who number 4 is in the nation? Yes. Number 1 in the nation is Ashton Jeanty. Guess who number 4 is?
I'm going to say Kalel Mullings because Michigan.
No. Ashton Jeanty after contact.
Wow.
Yeah, that. Alabama, they won the Iron Bowl against Auburn, and somehow, some way, it seems like they're going to sneak in the college football playoff, which I don't like, and we'll talk about in a second. Arizona State.
Oh, it's because of Nick Saban dick sucking. That's what it is. Because Nick
it's
Saban's
about
on the
SEC
Saban
bias.
anymore.
It's
It's
about
just Alabama bias.
It's about SEC bias, and the SEC is so strong that people are starting to take the conference weight and strength of schedule a little too hard. But there's some truth in it, and also some not, because Alabama's had some bad losses. Being that anytime they went into the state of Tennessee, they got their ass kicked harder than Dolly Parton working a 9-to-5. So
No, their schedule isn't that easy. I mean, just ask their last opponent like Seattle Local Polytechnic Technical Community College.
Yeah. Arizona State will be playing Iowa State in the Big 12 Championship. Going into Saturday, there was a possibility for 9 different teams to make the Big 12 Championship. Now we're down to 2, obviously. That's how crazy the Big 12 was. Colorado still has a chance going into Saturday, but it's going to be Arizona State and Iowa State. Arizona State, my mistake. Iowa State, scrolling a little bit here. Iowa State, they're 10-2. Iowa State is the second to last team to finally have a 10-win season in their history. Do you know who the only team in Division I college football that does not have a 10-win season?
The Vandy?
Yeah, it's Vandy. Vandy is now the only
Vanderbilt makes
school in
sense.
Division I college football that has history, okay? Like, sorry, Kennesaw State. That has history that has not had a 10-win season is Vanderbilt. So, thank you for providing us with doctors and physicians, but dear God, just 10 wins. Just 10 wins, okay? It's an uphill battle, but you can do it. Ole Miss won the Egg Bowl. They're probably not going to get in the college football playoff, even with a great quarterback talent in Jackson Dart. BYU, obviously, not doing great. They fell behind in the Big 12 race. They beat Houston. Clemson lost to South Carolina, where they were playing at home, and the field was still rushed by Clemson fans. Let that sink in.
No, hold on.
There were still, at the end of the game, there were South Carolina fans on the field dancing on top of the Clemson paw. Do you know how embarrassing that is to get your field rushed by an opposing school when you're playing at home? 19 ULV, again, they'll be playing Boise State in a rematch game. They already played each other where Boise State won, but UNLV did put up a lot of fight. That's their toughest opponent yet. And this is also UNLV without their starting quarterback and running back from the beginning of the season because of NIL dispute. Colorado, they're going to go bowling, which is great for Colorado. And I forget the name.
For
Colorado. There's I forget her name. I think Miss something. I can't remember her first name for the life of me. But there's a 100-year-old woman that's a big fan of Colorado, and she's going to go on the trip with the team to their bowl game. Hopefully, they'll get a good one. Illinois, number 21, they're doing great. They beat Northwestern. Missouri beat Arkansas. They're 9-3. Syracuse jumping on the list here, 9-3. They had a great season. They beat Miami, Florida. That's a great time for them. Army, 10-1. They'll be playing Tulane in the American Athletic Championship, and then have to turn around a week later and play Navy in the Army-Navy game. So they're not getting a bye going into the Army-Navy game, which kind of hurts them. And then Memphis, who will be playing, who played West Virginia. All right, it already says at West Virginia, 12-17. Have they scheduled their bowl? I don't know. I won't look through it. It's Memphis.
Maybe. So I kind of forgot that it was kind of weird for the Army-Navy game not being this week in general, just because they usually do it on the week of like Pearl Harbor.
They usually do.
Oh yeah, that's Saturday, right?
That's next week. It's Army-Navy.
No, I mean the Pearl Harbor anniversary.
Yeah.
December 6th. That's
7th.
Oh, that's 7th. Yeah, that's
7th.
2 days.
Yeah.
It's on Saturday.
Yes. So yeah, the AP poll doesn't matter as much anymore. It's obviously the conference championship and stuff from there. We'll quickly take a look at the conference championship, the college football playoff bracket. Again, the top 4 seeds are all conference champions. So you can't be a top 4 seed unless you've won a conference. So I think Oregon will beat Penn State. Oregon will be number 1. I think Texas will beat Georgia. They'll be number 2. I think SMU is going to win the ACC. They'll be number 3. And I don't think that Ashton Jeanty is going to let Boise State lose. So Boise State will be number 4. Now, because of that, that's going to change how other things shape up. Going down the list at the 5 seed, I like Georgia there. I think the runner-up to the SEC is going to be the 5 seed, Texas or Georgia, either one. I think of the teams immediately outside of the 4 conference champions, Georgia's the strongest. Put them at 5. Notre Dame right behind them. I'm fine with that too. I think they look really good. Their one loss was not a fluke loss, but definitely was a loss early in the season when they didn't have things rolling, and they rolled off 10 wins after that. So yes, that NIU loss was bad. However, they're doing good now. Number 7. So I would obviously flip Georgia and Penn State here. I think number 7 should be Penn State. Penn State's done very well, but again, they don't have really good wins in competitive games. They didn't beat Ohio State this year, and they're going to lose to Oregon in the conference championship, so that'll move them down to 7. Then at 8, I think Ohio State or Tennessee's fine. I think it's interchangeable there, and I feel like this is where the college football committee is probably going to put Tennessee above Ohio State, because I think they're going to be able to get more money off of Tennessee tickets since they have a higher capacity stadium than Ohio State. Also, Ohio State fans might be a little discouraged because, walked in and planted a flag on your field. So 8, 9, then going on to 10, Indiana, only 1 loss. I think they're going to get in. They're in a power conference. Their schedule hasn't been great. They're going to get the snot kicked out of them, I think, by any team they're playing up against, except Notre Dame. If they played Notre Dame, I think there could be a lot more meaning in that since they're both Indiana teams. I would watch out for a spoiler alert there for them. Number 11 should be Arizona State. They've been very good this season. I think they're going to win the Big 12. No if and or buts about that, and they should be there. That brings the last seed into context. I don't think you put Alabama over USC, and I don't mean the Trojans. I mean the Gamecocks. I think the Gamecocks have had a lot more upsets, a lot stronger wins, and not as bad losses, because Alabama, that loss to Vandy and that loss to Oklahoma were bad. Really bad. And I don't think Alabama should be in the college football playoff this year. They got put in last year when they didn't really deserve it, in my opinion. So I think they should make it in this year.
Oh, look at Kenny hustling.
Any other thoughts on that real quick? Okay, cool. One last thing about college football is a while ago, Michigan flipped the number 1 recruit, Bryce Underwood, to Michigan from LSU for $10.5 million. Yeah, you've heard all that, right? Michigan's now pulling in a bunch of recruits because they're like, oh, the number 1 quarterback's going to Michigan. A lot of the recruits are flipping to Michigan. Gorlami, do you know why a lot of recruits are flipping to Michigan?
What?
Do you know why a lot of recruits are flipping to Michigan right now?
I don't know what the heck was that for.
No.
I want you to look at this picture and tell me why recruits are flipping to Michigan.
Oh, you got fucking in the pocket. Hell yeah, brother.
Yep. Recruits are flipping to Michigan because of the Zin in the pocket. Sharon Moore has got it on lock.
All right, I'm extremely invested right now in the game.
Yeah, it's coming down to last.
Warning. Lions are driving.
Yep. All right.
Shit's going on.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on now. I guess it's time for KDUF News.
Okay, let's see what I've got for for this week. I didn't really watch too many of the games because sadly I had to put my dog down this week. But I was able to catch up on some things here, mainly from the fact that it was a fucking bloodbath for injuries this week. For starting out with the out for the year stuff.
That's an illegal chop block. That's an illegal chop block.
Anyway, injuries out for the year. Probably the big one has to be for yet again the 49ers, who lost 3 big pieces. First off, probably the most notable one would be running back Christian McCaffrey, who is out for the remainder of the year after injuring one of his PCLs in his knees. Along with him, they're losing defensive tackle Kevin Givens to a torn pectoral and guard John Feliciano who's undergoing knee surgery.
Oh, that's so bad. How the fuck did they miss that?
I'm sorry, ref ball. That's not going against the Lions and helping them win a game.
No, that's not ref ball. That's taking a linebacker out as a halfback on a chop block.
They're not, and the refs are not calling it. So that's ref ball against you.
Holy jeez, fucking.
Anyway, more injury stuff. Torn ACLs to both Titans wide receiver Traylon Burks and whatever the hell a Taysom Hill is. Giants have lost defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence with elbow injury. Cowboys are losing guard Zach Martin to ankle surgery. Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson is undergoing knee surgery as well. He's out for the remainder of the year. And while he was never activated because of the fractured ankle he suffered in his final season at FSU, Jets rookie quarterback Jordan Travis is officially shut down for the remainder of the year, even though he has not taken a goddamn snap. As for short to long-term stuff, Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins is going on with an MCL sprain. 49ers running back Jordan Mason with an ankle injury. Jets offensive tackle Tyron Smith, who's been put on IR for an undisclosed reason. Vikings cornerback Stephon Gilmore's got a hamstring injury. And Bengals kicker Evan McPherson with a groin injury. As for questionables going into the week, it's probably the big one. Yet another 49er, linebacker Fred Warner. Thank God his game is ending soon. Has barely been playing on a fractured ankle since their Week 4 game versus the Patriots, which it was funny because looking back to the game, I could have sworn he was like limping at some point during that game. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito, he's got a forearm injury that might keep him out again this week, which means we'll see another game from Horsecock Lock. Ravens wide receiver Rashad Bateman with a knee injury, if I can be overheard by Mrs. Lob City. Jaguars. Just gonna mute Lobby. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence is in concussion protocol after a extreme dirty hit, which we'll be definitely talk about during the coverage of the Texans Jaguars game. Jets running back Breece Hall's got a knee injury. Browns wide receiver Cedric Tillman is also in concussion protocol. Buccaneers linebacker Joe Tryon-Shoyinka with an ankle injury. Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb dealing with shoulder soreness. Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell might miss this week due to illness. Both Rams quarterback Matt Stafford and linebacker Jared Verse with ankle injuries. Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert with a knee injury. And Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III with a calf strain yet again. Other stuff, NBC sportscaster Mike Tirico has apparently reportedly been calling game days after rupturing his Achilles last week. And sad news for 49ers offensive tackle Trent Williams. He and his wife Sandra are mourning the loss of their son Trent Jr., who was stillborn last week. So rest in peace to them. Going on to signings and re-signings. Vikings signed former Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, who was not on the market for long and has definitely gotten his wish and gone to a playoff contender. Is going to be playing for that playoff contender is a whole different story. The Rams have claimed former Commanders cornerback Emmanuel Forbes off waivers after they released the former first-round pick after they were unable to trade him during before the trade deadline. Lions have added on 2 more defensive pieces to fill up for injuries that they've been experiencing. Titans safety Jamal Adams and former Broncos linebacker Quan Alexander, who I believe has been being a pretty decent piece so far this game. Bengals, due to the McPherson injury, have signed former Commanders kicker Cade York. 49ers have claimed former Jets running back Israel Abanikanda off waivers. And Chargers have signed former Seahawks wide receiver Laviska Shenault. As for the Jaguars, they don't really have too many big pieces to celebrate this year, but they did sign left tackle Walker Little to a 3-year, $45 million extension with $26 guaranteed. As for other releases and retirements, Commanders cornerback Emmanuel Forbes was released, as I said. Bengals released wide receiver Trenton Irwin. And someone who considering his play this year, I expected them to actually release at some point. Right? But the Ravens.
Wait. Trenton Irwin? They just released Trenton Irwin?
Yeah.
What the? Why? Why? He was okay. I mean, he was better than Jermaine Burton.
I guess I like Jermaine Burton more. I guess I don't fucking know.
Why, the fucking gambling addict that on our bye week was just in Vegas gambling the whole time? Oh my god!
The very same. All right. And as I was saying, the Ravens have declared that they are not intending have any indications that they're going to move on from kicker Justin Tucker, despite his recent bout of missed kicks the past few weeks. Someone that has been moved on to as we move on to miscellaneous news after it took way too fucking long for the McCaskies to get it through their thick skulls that this guy is not going to help your organization or Caleb Williams at all. The Bears have fired head coach Matt Eberflus after 2.5 years on a job with a 14-32 record and 1 timeout remaining. It is the first time in Chicago's 105-year history that they have fired head coach mid-season. So, Masson, you've been live longer than this, and you would have experienced this.
Fuck off.
And which means only after just being hired 2 weeks ago to replace Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator Thomas Brown is now taking over the entirety of the team as the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Jesus fucking Christ, Bears. As for other stuff, as I previously discussed with the Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence injury, Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair has been suspended 3 games for the dirty hit that concussed him. Ravens wide receiver Deontay Johnson was suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental after he reportedly refused to enter the game versus the Eagles. As for other news going on this week, this week's games tied the record for most games decided by 7 or fewer points in 1 week, with 12 games meeting under that metric. And we finally have some clinches and eliminations. Surprise, surprise, the Chiefs and Bills have clinched, and if this drive ends in a touchdown or field goal for the Lions, they will be clinching as well. And as for the eliminations, go for the Patriots, the Raiders, the Jaguars, and the Derp Giants. Other news, Browns wide receiver Jameis Winston set a new franchise record with 497 single-game passing yards, coming 20 shy of beating Tom Brady's record for most all-time in Monday Night Football. And he also became the first quarterback ever to have 450-plus passing yards, while also throwing 2 more picks in spite of it. Pick sixes, excuse me. 3 more quick things. The Patriots have announced they are planning to build a brand new practice facility behind Gillette Stadium. And another bit of Patriots news. Former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, his next stint as a coach might not be coming in the NFL, as he's reportedly been interviewing with North Carolina for their head coaching position after they fired Mac Brown last week. And
have fun, UNC. Still be shit, you dumb fucks. Fucking schmucks.
Yep. And finally, Lob has been already hyping up everything about it because you won. But the fight between Michigan and Ohio State players has resulted in the Big Ten fining both schools $100,000 each. From an outsider point of view, what occurred was that Michigan players attempted to plant their team flag in the Ohio State logo after the win. Ohio State players and personnel took exception to that. And, let's just put it this way. It started into a fight that injured an Ohio State police officer and had to result in multiple people being pepper sprayed before they finally broke it up. So, pretty unsportsmanlike way to end a game on both sides. It's notable, in my opinion, probably more for Michigan, but I know Lob's probably going to cut that part out so he can just keep hyping up Michigan's team. That's all I got.
I mean, yeah. What do you guys feel like about the whole flag planting situation? 'Cause a lot of people have talked about it, and it's been something that's been done constantly in certain rivalries, like the Red River rivalry. It's a word's hard for me. I don't know why, but that's been done in a lot of other instances, and never has been as big of an issue as it was for Ohio State and Michigan this year.
I'll say this: it felt like I was watching Juju Corvette on other people's logos again. Just didn't seem like it was
the game though. That's different.
Even so, it just still felt like pretty.
It's before the game, and when Juju's getting hit, it's serious, not after.
Yeah, And I think also
You
another
could,
thing is that
if you couldn't do it in 60 minutes, don't come out there and try to fight someone after.
I think also another reason Ohio State was so angry about it is because all these players on the Ohio State roster, the entire roster, all right, since it's been 4 straight years, all of the players have never beaten Michigan, and a lot of them were brought in a time where we need to beat Michigan again. You know, they were brought in. They probably went to a game as like on a visit as high schoolers, and they saw the last time Ohio State beat Michigan 5 years ago, and they were brought in and they wanted that same thing. Didn't get it freshman year, maybe weren't playing. Didn't get it sophomore year, maybe played. Didn't get it junior year, definitely were playing. Didn't get senior year. You know, that's why guys like Jack Sawyer, who are the backbone of that Ohio State team, were so pissed off, is because that's what they were looking forward to doing this year. And they had the team that was supposed to beat it. They were number 2, they were supposed to do it, and they got upset about it. But, I mean, there were also other flag planting situations. Arizona State took a trident and stabbed it into the Arizona Wildcats A in the center of their field, and that started a fight. UNC and NC State, those teams hate each other, and that started another fight. Like, South Carolina and Clemson had some problem, but it was mostly with South Carolina fans running up into Clemson players' faces after the game because they stormed the opposing field. Nothing stops Gamecock fans. Like, these guys have so much booze, it's illegal. Like, these fans scare me. And not because their team's good, it's because they're just drunk 24/7.
They're not that far from each other, so that also kind of...
I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but still. I don't have a big of a problem with flag planting. I mean, Baker Mayfield didn't get knocked the fuck out when he planted his flag in Ohio State when he beat them.
That's because Baker's built different. That shit's nothing to him, man.
Yeah, true. That is Baker. They saw he had a sit in, and they were like, I ain't messing with him. All right, Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to covering NFL football now that we've talked a lot about that and other things. Let me pull up the image here. I'm sorry if I'm a little laggy. I had a 12-hour shift, so I am somewhat in and out of it.
Just show the last like 30 seconds. That's
all you really need to show about.
So again, this was the first of the Thanksgiving games, and some pretty good Thanksgiving games. You know, we had some. Okay, look.
This one was kind of meh before it gave us the ultimate comedy at the end.
Yes,
this is the only decent one.
The Bears were scoreless going into the half. It was 16-0, and then the Bears come back and score 20 points to the Lions 7 in the second half. But they still ended up losing by 3 because of the end of the game, which we will fast forward to right about here.
Let me see if I can duck away.
2nd and 17. It's a minute, and here, actually, I'll do this.
Okay, here we go. Well,
see if I can
Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Just let it. I think just let it play from here, much like the Bears
down
did.
by 3. Boom. Incomplete pass. Okay, clock stopped. It's 4th and 4. You're past the 50. Don't want to go for 3 right here. It's a bit far. Minute left on the clock.
Back,
boom.
Throws. They
Goes
convert.
there.
They are in field goal range.
You are in with. This is near chip shot range. Okay, 56 seconds left. You have 2 timeouts. There's a flag. Pass interference on the defense, so it moves them back.
No, offense. It was offense.
Sorry,
offense.
Sorry, offense. That moves them back.
Goal
It's
command.
now 4th and 14. 54 seconds on the clock. The time still went on. Caleb Williams is scrambling as always does, and just heaves up a prayer. And
that is nearly picked.
A
Flag.
Defensive pass interference on the defense. Ball is at the spot of the flag. So they're now not exactly within field goal range, but it's a decent long shot. But then that happens. That's bad. A sack is taken by Caleb Williams.
Because as you can see here, they have a timeout. They have the timeout that they can use. All you need to do is just call it, and all it gives it. Sometimes I think maybe drain the clock a little bit if you're going to try and go for that last second field goal and maybe tie it up and take it in overtime, which really would be a dumb decision to do. And as I'm talking, I'm realizing, wait, it's 14 seconds, 13 seconds. What are you doing? Call the timeout. Why are you already set up? What the fuck are you doing? Oh my God, Bears. Call the fucking timeout. Oh God, you're actually going to do it. You're actually going to fucking choke this away. And there you go.
Now, to be fair, Romulan Dunze was kind of open there, so there was a possibility of that happening. But at the same time, that play calling there, he got sacked, right? So, first of all, blame is due where blame is due. You can't take a sack here. Like, yes, that's some good pass rush, and obviously the Bears' all-line sucks, which is their problem as well. But Caleb Williams, you cannot take a sack here. Step up in the pocket a little bit further. Even, like, obviously you don't want to take a sack or an intentional grounding, but you need to move. You cannot take a sack here because even if the timeout was called, you're now out of field goal range. You're at the, 41? 42 nearly?
Now even further back after that sack,
Yeah.
yes.
And now 30 seconds are on the clock. It
Right.
is not hard for an NFL team to run up to the line of scrimmage and spike a ball. So what you need to do here, Matt Eberflus, is call a timeout. Get the team set up, drop a good play. You have 2 more downs to get a first down. And what you can do is if you get a first down and the clock's running low and you're in the middle of the field, run up, spike the ball, kick a field goal, go to overtime, you have a chance to win there. That's a great situation for a 4-7 Chicago team. Definitely still in a hunt against quite possibly the best team in the NFL here in the Detroit Lions. But instead, you literally piss away the lead.
Yep, and then you defend your actions
Or
in
the
multiple
time.
press conferences after the fact, too. Like saying, like, oh, yeah, I definitely stand by my decision. I'll be coaching for the 49ers. Yeah, right here, exactly. Let me flash you guys back to 2018.
Again, once it's under 7, you're gonna call timeout there, or actually under 12, and then really you don't have an option.
If you truly like what you did there, you might have to be a Lions fan in disguise.
I was watching this game, and everybody watching it, including people who were very young, like younger than 13, were like, call a timeout.
Yeah, my whole family was screaming that too. And then when they
played Madden knows to just hit the timeout button there.
Yeah, as I was trying to say, I'd like you guys to flash back to 2018. Cleveland Browns still got Hugh Jackson. Do you know what finally did him in after that loss to the Steelers that year? Not using the 2 timeouts left you had after the half.
That's right.
They're not vacation weeks.
If he was fired after not using 2, what makes you think you're still going to be coaching this week after not using 1?
And then, I honestly, to make it even worse at the very end of the game, is like, just look at this absolutely hideous headphone dent.
Oh, God. Even my hair doesn't get that bad.
Also, someone needs to Photoshop this where it's just his brain. It goes even further down. woo. So, yeah. After watching this game, we went to my wife's other side of the family's Thanksgiving, and my uncle-in-law, or her uncle, is a big Bears fan. And I told him, I think we just watched your head coach get fired on national television. He's like, he'd better be fired. So, yeah. That was, again, damning evidence for your firing. No one to blame but yourself there. Maybe a little bit of Caleb Williams for taking that sack. But again, 20-23 the final score. Caleb Williams, not a bad day. 20 for 39 for 256, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 5 sacks. Again, this is something that Chicago has been trying to find forever, is a franchise quarterback. I feel like we can say they have it now. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's kind of time to say that, hey, this guy probably can be the franchise quarterback. I mean, he's putting up numbers that you said that Love basically was a franchise quarterback, but the only thing is he's not turning the ball over as much, Gorlami. So this is a franchise
but also didn't Stroud have like a similar route last year, and now he's playing like shit this year?
He's playing worse, but not like shit. He's not Aiden O'Connell. He's not Danny DeVito. He's not Daniel Jones.
Not playing very fucking good.
Yeah, also doesn't help when Laramie Tunsil gets like 10 false starts in a game, or pre-snap penalties. And
CJ Stroud could be playing better, but saying that CJ Stroud is playing bad is not correct. Saying that he's not playing as good or he's playing a little subpar is fine. But you're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. To reel it back in a little. Rushing, Caleb Williams 4 for 39, DeAndre Swift 11 for 39. Could not do much in the run department. Not good for the Bears there. Then receiving, DJ Moore 8 for 97 and a touchdown. Allen 5 for 73 and 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift 2 for 35. Cole Kmet 3 for 26 and Rome Odunze 2 for 25. Moving on to the Lions, Jared Goff 21 for 34 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack. Another great day for him. Rushing, David Montgomery 21 for 88 and Jameer Gibbs 9 for 87, as well as Jameson Williams 2 for 18 and Jared Goff 1 for 1. 194 rush yards in total to Chicago's 78. For Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown 5 for 73, Tim Patrick 2 for 48, David Montgomery 3 for 36. Jameson Williams 5 for 28, Jameer Gibbs 2 for 17, and Brock Wright 1 for 13, as well as Sam Laporta 3 receptions, 6 yards, 2 touchdowns. So red zone machine for him there. Again, the Lions did very well in the beginning parts of the game, but then they started to play with their foot a little bit, which is not normal for them, but they were able to hold on and, come through when it mattered. I would be more concerned about their defense, which week after week seems to be starting to slip. Obviously, losing
that's mostly because of more
injuries.
injury news than like exhaustion.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Regardless of the reason, they're still slipping.
You're not
Obviously,
wrong. I mean,
yeah.
You're valid in saying it.
They showed a graphic. It showed like 10 players on the IR. That's all defense. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and I think I was already seeing some more guys were getting banged up this game.
Hutchinson is out. He is probable for the Super Bowl if the Lions make it. Alec Alzoni.
Alec Anzalone, yeah.
Yeah, Alec Anzalone. I can never say that. He might be out.
It's kind of a tough name to say.
An extended period of time. So they're definitely banged up in a lot of key categories. It seems to be all in defense, which is not great.
Branch got hurt, and then Branch got hurt.
What I'm looking at, DJ Reader, Emmanuel Mosley, Josh Pascal, Taylor Decker, Makai Wingo, Malcolm Rodriguez, Khalif Raymond, Enos Rakestraw, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jalen Reeves, Hutchinson, Kyle Pico, Marcus Davenport, David Bada, John Kaminsky, Antoine Green, Connor Galvin, Nate Lynn. Jesus fucking Christ.
Fuck.
Yeah, a lot of guys. It's not a great season for them as far as injuries, but they're still making the best out of it, just playing with who they have and what they're able to do. So,
you just have to hope some of these guys
come back.
Thing is with defenses, if you got young guys that are just willing to run hard hit, you can make that work. And obviously,
can't confirm it's how the Patriots kind of
did. No. That's what the Bengals are doing, and it sucks. No. We have young guys all over the place.
Because you got a Zach Taylor running.
Yeah.
It's working for the Lions.
Well, yeah, maybe that's just coordinatorship, but you still need smart guys. Yeah.
True.
Looking at you, Cam Taylor, Geno Stone. Yeah. Not great. But yeah. Lions start off Thanksgiving with a win. This is their first win on Thanksgiving in, I believe, 8 years.
Yes,
it is. And with
games.
And I think that's also this. I mean, we're going to be talking about this tonight's game, obviously, but I was reading somewhere that if they clinch tonight, it would be the first time since 1954 that a NFC North has clinched back-to-back years. Like a team, like an NFC North team has clinched back-to-back years.
Shout out Dan
both
Campbell.
Division and Dan Campbell.
Right. This was probably the worst game of Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. So again, this wasn't that bad for the simple reason.
Technically have a chance.
This wasn't that bad because you eat all the food because the first game's on at noon, and then you start to have that little like post food coma nap, and you just sleep through a game that was just like and you don't really miss that much. You wake up in the fourth quarter and you're like, oh, is there a game? Kinda. And then you go to bed, or then you kind of take a little bit of another nap, and then boom, you're watching the Packers and Packers and Dolphins play late. So, no, it's obviously having the worst game be the middle game. I don't think is a bad idea. Now, obviously, you can't plan that, and this game is supposed to be a little bit better, but obviously the Giants and Cowboys are both banged up. The Giants, Drew Lock,
especially when the starters are Drew Lock and Cooper Rush at quarterback.
I do not know, like. Hats off to Cooper Rush. I feel like he's not going to be a starting quarterback in this league. He's kind of in this position where he's constantly a backup now, which isn't a bad thing.
The only reason
still are very great for scout teams, great for organizing with the main quarterback, making finding issues on the sidelines with the tablets and everything. Really setting up a game
the only
plan
reason
well.
he's in is because Dak Prescott's hurt, and nobody ever in their right mind ever wants to give Trey Lance a chance to do anything in this league.
That's what I'm saying. Why not give Trey Lance a try? Obviously, he had a good win for San Francisco when he was starting with them for a while before his injury. Then Brock Purdy came along, and San Francisco was like, I don't want to play with you anymore, and then threw it away. And then he goes to Dallas, and you give him one game against. Who were they playing? The Eagles, yeah.
It was the
Eagles, and good God, Master, you didn't give
time.
that poor man any time to do anything.
Good. Fuck the Cowboys.
That guy's barely a cowboy.
He
barely
wears the star.
That's like
cowboy.
You're basically saying you're in a trench during World War I as like a 3-year veteran of the war, and you see some 17-year-old German walking out there, and you just dome him, and he's in a brand spanking new uniform. That guy didn't know where he was. Give him a break. Trey Lance is barely a cowboy, and you're treating him like he is like Troy Aikman, dude. Like, give the
You're treating
man
him
a
like how
break.
I treat Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, milk for the cornflakes.
It's yeah. So
Anyway,
I don't understand as the Cowboys how you don't try Trey Lance out a little bit. Obviously you wanted to win this game and you did, so hats off to you. You beat the Giants. Do you want a fucking cookie?
Yeah, congratulations! You beat the NFL equivalent of UConn.
That's the Panthers, maybe. We'll have to see.
Here's a half-eaten cookie that's been on the floor for a good minute.
Yeah, at this point, I'm going to give you like an
definitely
oatmeal
stale.
raisin cookie. That's like moldy.
Ooh.
So
And stale.
Dog licked it before you picked it up.
27-20, the final score. The Cowboys get the win at home in Jerry's World, who has now removed the black awnings that were set up for the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. So there's still vapid amounts of sunlight streaming in and blinding players. Drew Lock for the New York Giants went 21 for 32 for 178, no touchdowns and 1 pick and 6 sacks. Also a hilarious moment where it was a little bit earlier in this highlights above us, is that there was a moment where they're about at the 50 and they were going to do a sneak on 4th and 1, and the snap count that they were going to go on, because they had a bunch of fake ones to try to get them off sides, the snap count that was the true snap count where they would actually snap the ball was gobble gobble. And if you guys heard that,
I heard
but
about
Drew Lock got up under center, said a bunch of random stuff, tried to get him offside, that said gobble gobble, got the football and dove forward and got stonewalled. But thus is that's probably an accurate picture of the Giants' fucking season. Good lord.
Mm-hmm. That was the only entertaining part of the game.
That was the interception.
Marion Overshone making a day for himself.
Yeah. He also has I don't know how many. Fuck. What is it? Like, well, I don't know. I can't see it there.
What are you looking for?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different armbands on.
My God.
Like, I'm not wanting to get on NFL players like, swag.
I think he was wearing wearing an armband for. I think that's an arm. Each armband represents a solo tackle he had on the day.
Yeah, I mean, he did pretty well.
He did.
Yeah, 5 solo tackles, 9 total, interception, ran back for a touchdown. He had a great day. He was probably the MVP of the game. Rushing for the Giants, the leader was Drew Lock with 57 yards and 4 carries and a touchdown. Tyrone Tracy 9 for 32 and a touchdown, and Devin Singletary 7 for 23. Passing
that is not good. If Drew Lock is your leader over Tracy and Singletary.
Now hold on, Drew Lock has some athleticism. It's sneaky, but he's not slow. They had 116 rushing yards, however, only 178 passing was not great. Malik Neighbors receiving 8 for 69. Nice. Theo Johnson 5 for 54, Tyrone Tracy 2 for 33, and Darius Slayton 2 for 8, as well as Jalen Hyatt 2 for 8, and Wanda Robinson 2 for 6. Not a great day passing the ball. At the end of the day, these are still the New York Giants, and this Dallas Cowboys defense still has some bright spots. Not many, but some, and they were able to really stop the pass and shut it down. For the Cowboys, Cooper Rush, 21 for 36 for 195 and a touchdown. No sacks. Again, 21 completions and 195 yards is crazy. This was a lot of short, small routes that were wide open and in some cases dropped, too. Rushing, Rico Dwaddle had a field day. 22 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott had 1 carry for 4 yards. And I believe he also had a fumble, too. I believe this is attributed to Cooper Rush. It was Zeke. It was a handoff, and they attributed it to Cooper Rush instead of Ezekiel Elliott. It was entirely Zeke's fault. Hunter Lepke 3 for 4, and Kevontae Dearborn 1 for 2. 122 rush yards total. That's only 6 more than the Giants, Cowboys. 6 more. Ugh. Receiving, Kevontae Turpin 4 for 53, Jalen Tolbert 2 for 41, CeeDee Lamb 2 for 39, Luke Schoonmaker 5 for 33, Brandon Cooks 3 for 16 and a touchdown, and Rico Dwaddle 3 for 11. Again, this is a perfectly fine game to sleep to. These are 2 teams that are on the struggle bus, and there's only one wheel rolling. So both these
and that wheel is flat.
Yeah, the best player outside of Kayvon Thibodeau on the Giants might be Graham Gano. So
Malik Neighbors.
Okay, fair. Yep, totally fair. I apologize, Malik Neighbors. The third best player in the Giants might be Graham Gano. And then for the Cowboys, you got the win, which is good here, but at the same time, why would you not try Trey Lance out some just to see if he has any possibility of maybe being the next guy that can learn for a while underneath Dak Prescott, while you have Mike McCarthy coaching. This was kind of what Mike McCarthy did to help Aaron Rodgers elevate his game after Favre left. Maybe something like that happens. Maybe Mike McCarthy's too far gone and too many Denny's trips afterwards. But, we'll have to see.
He's still coaching like it's 2006.
Yeah. And this game needs to be like 2006 and go away.
This was fun. I was watching this with my uncle, and he's a Dolphins fan. He went to bed at halftime.
Dolphins fan. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
They yell at everybody to get the fuck out afterwards.
Well, because when he grew up, it was like the Marino days.
Yeah.
So
it's basically the same thing now. It's just you have Dan Marino with, like, concussion problems. There's still no defense.
During his career instead of after.
Yeah. But yeah, Giants. Wow, Packers get a great win.
12-hour shifts really kicking your ass, isn't it?
Well, yeah, 12-hour shifts I think kicks most anybody's ass. They get the win at home on Thanksgiving night on a cold day in Lambeau Field, 30-17 the final score. Sorry, Dolphins, you are not beating the allegations of you can't play in cold weather because this was Exhibit B. Exhibit A was last year's playoffs against the Chiefs. So
in fairness, that was like generationally cold weather.
Yeah, there were multiple people who
this wasn't
lost limbs
warmer, but
from that game as fans. Yeah, not players, fans, dumbass fans in Kansas City. They were like, "I'm gonna go shirtless," and they're like,
four guys who froze themselves to death deciding to watch the game shirtless out in 30-degree weather. I don't understand
Less
why.
than 30. I think it was -20. There were some wind chills of that factor at that Kansas City game last year. But regardless, this game was still very cold. But at the same time, what was even more cold was the Miami Dolphins. They scored 3 points in the first half and were only able to get 2 touchdowns afterwards, totaling to 17 points in total. Tua Tagovailoa, 37 for 46 for 365 yards. 2 touchdowns and 5 sacks. This Packers defense definitely was along the lines of bend, don't break. Tua had a great night, didn't turn the ball over, sacked 5 times, which isn't horrible, but not great either. But they still couldn't make the most out of it. Running the ball, though, was where the Packers made sure the Dolphins didn't get any ground. Raheem Mostert had 19 yards on 5 carries, Akane 7 for 14, and Tua Tagovailoa 2 for 6. 39 rush yards in total. The team went 14 for 39 on the ground. 14 carries, 39 yards. That is abysmal, even in the modern NFL. Receiving, Jonnu Smith, 10 for 113. Tyreek Hill, 6 for 83 and a touchdown. Akane, 8 for 56 and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 4 for 53. Raheem Mostert, 2 for 15. And Alec Ingold, 2 for 15. Go ahead, Gorlami.
I think we need to make a note here, since we're on Josh Jacobs. The top 3 running backs right now in the NFL, all were traded.
No, not traded. No, Barkley was free agent. Derrick Henry is a free agent.
They all
have teams. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Jacobs, Henry, and Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Yeah. Other top running back. I don't think Bijan's better than any of those guys. I think that's a fair thing.
Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery is like 2-head monster.
Yeah, I that's weird with the Lions is that like you can't tell who's the best one. I think in the long run, Gibbs is going to be the best, but we don't know just as of yet per se.
Well, the thing is that Montgomery's more of a power back. Gibbs is more an elusive guy.
And from College Football 25 that having both is phenomenal.
Yeah. Granted, I love having power backs because I love to truck people.
True. But then when you run a sweep, you're like, oh god, he can't outrun a lineman.
Sweep outside zone. I just want to get an elusive back.
Okay. I know you hate Luke Fickell, but hey, there's some speed plays we could run here, Gorlami. Like, calm down Wisconsin in you a little bit here. Come on. Now you're a fullback. Tune the CTE a little. Like, turn the dial down a little.
Someone say power eye.
But both Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is a 2-headed monster for Detroit for running backs.
Yeah. So, no, I think it's entirely a fair thing to say, Gorlami, is the top 3 running backs in the NFL right now, as of this season, are all players that played on different teams last year. Yeah, that's fair to say. Moving on to the Packers. Jordan Love, 21 for 28 for 274 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Great day from him. Rushing, Josh Jacobs went 19 for 43 and a touchdown. Not an insane amount of yards on the ground, but he also had 74 yards receiving on 4 receptions, so a lot of all-purpose yards. Chris Brooks, 3 for 28. Jalen Reed, 1 for 23. Emmanuel Wilson, 2 for 20. Tucker Kraft, 6 for 78. Josh Jacobs, 4 for 74 receiving. Christian Watson, 2 for 67. Dontayvion Wicks, 4 for 30. Jalen Reed, 3 for 24 and 2 touchdowns. And Chris Brooks, 2 for 1. A great day for the Packers offense, and their defense also bend, didn't break. They did a lot of great things and be able to shut down. Now what seems like for the for the Dolphins, what seems like a almost three-headed monster starting to emerge receiving-wise. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle still are being very, very efficient. But Jonnu Smith has seemingly come out of not nowhere, but like from obscurity to relevancy very quickly. In the past 3 or 4 weeks, he has really upped his numbers very well.
I think the ghost of Raheem Mostert was really haunting us during this game because we really wanted to stop the run.
True, but at the same time, you also did a good job at it. And it's honestly, I feel like it's hard to stop Mike McDaniel and this scheme that he has and the players that he has running the scheme with him, because
a lot of play action too.
Yeah, Tua is a very good quarterback when he's healthy, which sadly isn't often. But when he's healthy, he is phenomenally accurate and is a really good passer, and he has a lot of options to throw to. Tyreek Hill is probably the fastest player to ever play football. Devon Akane is an amazing out of the backfield running back. Raheem Mostert's also incredibly quick. Jonnu Smith is a freak of nature, and Jalen Waddle is a tremendous wide receiver as well. So he has all these options to throw to, and this offense is great. You go to the defensive side of the ball, and who do they have? Jalen Ramsey, who, to be quite honest with you, I forgot existed.
I think he's a little washed at this point.
Yeah,
he's fallen off hard from his days in.
How old is he now?
Rams.
He's. Hold on, look it up.
Gotta be 30s.
I thought he was like
Ramsey,
late 30s.
number 5 is 30 exactly.
30 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was older than that. Damn.
His birthday was about 2 months ago.
Definitely not a CB1 anymore. Maybe for this team, but not in NFL terms, I don't think. But that wraps up our Thanksgiving games. Great job by the Packers to get a win here. And again, Miami Dolphins, you need to start doing some cold exposure therapy, I think, at this point, because this is getting ridiculous. Another week.
It's a team I was hoping would have gotten exposed.
They did, but then got saved.
Because of dumbassery of the O-line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
you want to go to that and talk about it real quick, because it's just complete asinine bullshit.
So this game was a 2-point victory for the Chiefs, who got a game-winning field goal. So if we go to this situation here, as you can see, there is
right about here.
Well, a game-winning field goal for the Chiefs. I meant they won the game with a field goal because the Raiders weren't able to score. The Raiders, if they kick a field goal, they win here. They're trying to get a field position. It's 3rd and 3.
They are well within field goal range here, I believe.
Right. They're trying to run one more play, and what happened is that Aiden O'Connell wasn't ready for the snap.
Yes, but if they showed a slow motion of this, you'll see that I think it was one of the guards taps the center, Jackson Powers Johnson, and that's what made him spike it. Because, rookie or not, the guard doesn't tell you when to snap the ball; the quarterback does.
Now, that's kind
of on him.
That's a common thing for the guard to touch the center when the play clock's running down. Aiden O'Connell wasn't ready for it. However, when that also happened, there was a flag thrown and whistles were being blown as that was happening because there was a false start on the play.
It wasn't a false start. It was illegal shift. It's something
illegal
shift.
There was an illegal shift, and then they changed it.
No, it wasn't changed.
No, a ref signaled false start, but it turned out to be an illegal shift.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, is that they signaled a false start on the play, and then they changed that to an illegal shift. If it was a false start, that play wouldn't have counted. It would have been blown dead. That fumble never would have happened. Because it became an illegal shift, that is a declinable penalty. And since Kansas City recovered the ball, they were able to keep the ball on the other clock and win the game. So, that entire reason that happened right there, that play where the ball hits the ground, and he's not ready for it, was a false start. You can see the flag fly in right here. Because of a false start. Let me see if we can see some motion. Slowly move forward. There's Brock Bowers. Hi, buddy.
O'Connell staring like a deer in headlights.
So scared. And
he had a game, though.
So. He did have a good game, honestly. Calling the play in the huddle. Yada, 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 yada. Can we move on?
Fix your shoulder pad.
But
well,
again,
you put
9
to 5 seconds.
8. You can see the play clock's winding down here. So that's why the guard is meant to tap the center when the play clock gets low enough. Because the quarterback's supposed to recognize that. And that was Aiden O'Connell's fault. He admitted to that. So here's Aiden O'Connell looking around.
They're not going to show it from this angle?
And then there.
Because
there was the false start there on the edge. It was hard to see.
Oh, no, because the snap occurred. Because the cut to this shot happens right after the snap occurred. Because you see, like, AOC just look down like suddenly.
Yeah, you can't really. They don't really give us a good angle, which kind of sucks. But also, they probably don't want us to give us a good angle because it's the NFL's official channel. They don't.
Because it's then it's going to give credence to they're actually rigging this game for the Chiefs.
They are, yes. The Chiefs now advanced.
Everybody knows
it. Raiders fell to 2-10. They could have gotten the win here. Again, this seems like it's going to be the Black Friday game constantly as the Raiders and Chiefs. Aiden O'Connell went 23 for 35 for 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and 3 sacks. That one fumble at the end of the game was, again, damning for their chances, but at the same time, he had a great game otherwise. Running the ball, Sear McCormick ran the ball the best for the Raiders, 12 for 64, Amir Abdullah 10 for 39, and Trey Tucker 1 for 11. Receiving, Brock Bowers 10 for 140 and 1 touchdown, quickly making a case to be on the ballot for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and has already seemed to solidify himself as one of the best tight ends in the league. I think
Duke Tobin.
In the draft, yeah.
They have, I think, 2 really good options at tight end because they have Michael Mayer, who's more focused on blocking, and Brock Bowers, who's more focused on receiving, and both of them together are dangerous. Not to mention Jacoby Myers, 6 for 97. He had a 43 long reception, as you can see there. This guy has been phenomenal.
Oh, yes, the traitor.
Trey Tucker 1 for 58 and a touchdown. DJ Turner 1 for 25. Amir Abdullah 2 for 14. And Michael Mayer 1 for 5. Great day for Aiden McConnell in the offense. It's just they couldn't punch it in when it mattered more often than not. And one bad snap/read on a snap damned them to a loss. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes 26 for 46 for 306 yards, a touchdown, no sacks or no interceptions, and 5 sacks. So a sack-heavy day from there. That's not normal, especially with his mobility, and usually the offense line is much more secure than that. But he still had a great game regardless. 306 yards with no interceptions and a touchdown is still very good. Running the ball, Isaiah Pacheco 7 for 44, Kareem Hunt 7 for 15, and Patrick Mahomes 2 for 4. Not a great day running the ball. They usually have been a lot better, especially with Kareem Hunt somehow finding second legs on this team again. Receiving, DeAndre Hopkins 4 for 90, Travis Kelce 7 for 68, Noah Gray 4 for 58, Xavier Worthy 5 for 54, Samaje Perine 1 for 15, Juju Smith-Schuster 1 for 10, and Justin Watson 1 for 6, as well as Isaiah Pacheco 1 for 5. Again, there was the ref ball at the end that changed the game. Obviously, gave the Chiefs the win at the end there, but you got to admit the Raiders bring it whenever they play the Chiefs. The Raiders could be 0 wins on the season, and they will play the Chiefs to the very end. Nothing brings your players up like our good old rivalry game, right? There's not much else to say about this game. Like, I don't think this solidifies the, fact that the Raiders still should, draft a quarterback this year. But at the same time, Aiden O'Connell had a great game. And for the Chiefs, you somehow managed to get another win, and your team still doesn't look. You don't look like an 11-1 team. I'll say that.
They look like the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Basically, just winning off fluke bullshit and ineptitude and whatever the hell that was.
And please stop doing this. Please stop doing this because we'll talk about a play that the Bills had on Monday Night Football. That was, or was it Sunday Night Football? It was Sunday night.
It was Sunday night.
The Bills had on Sunday Night Football where there was a lateral involved, and it was just oh, look at this! It looks a little Mahomey, and like Chris Collinsworth, please.
No,
dude.
brought a little Kansas City to Buffalo.
Former Bengal. Can you have some respect? There's more quarterbacks out there than Patrick Mahomes. Like, golly, dude, the glazing, bro, working at Krispy Kreme. My goodness.
Oh, Collinsworth always glazes on random ass shit. He's just that dumbass. He's just that much of a dumbass.
No, that's the thing. He's usually a good color commentator when he's not talking about something that. No, wait. Take out the Patrick Mahomes stuff. If you take that out, I don't think he's
even
that bad.
Even before that.
When he first started, there were some issues, but he worked out those kinks, and I think he's fine when he's not talking about Patrick Mahomes. However, he keeps bringing up this motherfucker like a bad penny. It keeps turning up. Stop it. Just focus on the game and how good Josh Allen's is. Yeah, again. All right. Moving on. We'll go to the first game on the Sunday slate.
Who's gonna do it worse? Chargers charging or Falcons falconing?
This game has a lot of.
Well, as it turned out, both tried, but one succeeded.
Yeah, 17-13, the final score. The Chargers get a hard-fought win in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Studios.
Mercedes-Benz Studios. Yeah, it might be Studios because Kirk Cousins could quickly become a tech booth guy instead of a quarterback after this game because there's been talks of benching him.
Yeah, after you decided to pay him 9 figures. Genius move.
Oh. I don't know why. I had a burp there and I threw up a little bit. I don't know whether to blame Kirk Cousins or the
I feel like we
Chargers.
Can. But that was a nice catch, say, by
blame the Falcons.
Ugh. All right. Chargers, Justin Herbert, 16 for 23 for 147, no touchdown, no picks, 5 sacks. 23 attempts for Justin Herbert. It seems like a very low amount, but hey, they got the win. Gus Edwards, 6 for 32 on the ground, as well as Commandy Vidal, 4 for 20. Receiving for the Chargers, Ladd McConkey, 9 for 117. Quentin Johnson, 2 for 12. Joshua Palmer, 1 for 11. Stone Surratt, 1 for 3. Darius Davis, 1 for 3. Scott Malik, 1 for 2. Gus Edwards, 1 for 1. Tucker Frisk, 1 for 1. For the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, 24 for 39 for 245 yards. No touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 1 sack. Rushing, Bijan Robinson, 26 for 102 and a touchdown. Tyler Algier, 8 for 16. 116 rush yards on the ground for them in total. That was over double what the Chargers had. And then receiving, Raymond McLeod, 4 for 95. Drake London, 9 for 86. Bijan Robinson, 6 for 33. And Darnell Mooney, 3 for 20. As far as stats go, if you remove the column that says interceptions in Atlanta, you think they'd won. 116 rushing yards compared to the 56 that the Chargers had, and 245 receiving yards compared to the 150 that the Chargers had. In every aspect, they dominated the game until it came to Kirk Cousins' decision-making, throwing the ball to, Chargers instead of Falcons. And that's what really hurt the Falcons in the long run, was poor decision-making by Kirk Cousins. Which is kind of sad because it wasn't much earlier in the year where he had that 450-yard game in overtime on Thursday night
against the Bucs,
against the Buccaneers, where we were legitimately talking like, hey, Kirk might get an MVP vote if he keeps this up, and of course he fucking didn't because it's Kirk Cousins and he's about as consistent as a tube of Jello in the wintertime, or in the summertime because it's melting. Yeah. I don't know how he went from being very good to all of a sudden very bad, but there are legitimate talks about bringing Michael Penix Jr. in for the Falcons. The Falcons are 6-6. They're still atop the NFC South. They have a tiebreaker against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are also 6-6, and then New Orleans 4-8, and Carolina is 3-9.
Take division.
What do you guys think about bringing Penix in instead of Kirk Cousins at this late in the season? Do you think it's the right move? Do you think they stick with Kirk? What do they do?
I'd at least see what they can do with the guy. I mean, I don't know if their season's salvageable, at this point, but I would give the guy at least a chance for at least a half a game.
What's the worst? They win tank division with a losing record?
Either that or just throws 4 picks and makes Nathan Peterman look like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean
tank division.
This is what you get with Kirk Cousins, I feel like. I feel like we've kind of known this for a while, is that ever since he's been in the NFL, he has these flashes of just brilliance. And then a while later, it's just really bad. I feel like he's hear me out. Joe Flacco is the Tom Brady of Kirk Cousins's. Think about it.
That sentence made my brain fart.
Joe Flacco is the Tom Brady, the best quarterback out of the Kirk Cousins archetype, the really streaky quarterbacks. Because Joe Flacco was a streaky quarterback. But
Okay, well, yeah.
Stronger longevity periods where he was very consistent and very good, and then he still had those bad points at other times. But Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco are of the same vein of a little bit streaky. But the thing is, Joe Flacco was able to maintain some of those strong, high-performing games a little bit longer than Kirk is, where he's a lot more like an up-and-down roller coaster, while Flacco's able to maintain some semblance of ebbs and flow, if you know what I mean.
I was thinking Kirk Cousins similar to regular season Eli Manning.
So is Eli Manning the Tom Brady of Joe Flacco's?
Yes.
Joe Flacco. I don't think Joe Flacco's. I feel like Kirk Cousins is the baseline. Okay. Hold on. Brain bomb. Kirk Cousins is Joe Flacco is the Tom Brady of Kirk Cousins, but Eli Manning's the Peyton Manning of Kirk Cousins's.
No.
And Gorlami's brain is frying right now.
It really is.
His and mine both.
No, because
I'm off a
Peyton
12-hour
Manning
shift
showed
dropping knowledge like this. Come on now.
no, because Peyton Manning showed like that consistency actually being really good. Is just his teams let him down at times. If you're saying for his last season,
his
that's
first
because
season,
of age.
his second to last in Indy, his first two in Denver, or his first one in Denver.
Okay.
There were some bad. Peyton Manning had some bad seasons.
Rookie injury, age.
Fair.
That gets to everyone. I'm just saying Eli Manning has like that weird stuff in the regular season, but then he picks it up in the playoffs.
Right. We'll see if Kirk Cousins can do that because the Falcons have
and
a
then
chance to make the playoffs.
Well, they're gonna win Tank Division. Who's gonna win it?
No, it's up in the air, man. Atlanta or Tampa Bay. They're both 6-6.
Like Atlanta already beat Tampa Bay twice, and they have the tiebreaker.
Right, but if Atlanta keeps losing games and Tampa Bay keeps winning games, who gives a fuck? They have a better score.
I don't think Tampa Bay is going to win the rest of their games because
this is not a lock for Atlanta. It's definitely more probable than not, but it's not a lock. It is definitely not a lock. There are three certainties in life: three certainties in life: death, taxes, Ocho Cinco's always open, and the NFC South is unpredictable as fuck. So that's enough being said for this game. And also, again, more credit needs to be given to Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers there. They're advancing to 8-4 this season, and they were, what, last year? Like 5-12?
Like
5 and
3 and
12.
3. They were 5-12. Okay. That defense does look much better.
Yes. That defense, it's a high-scoring defense in the NFL. To go from, like, last season where their defense was wishy-washy to now, like, they're the best defense in the NFL.
Best.
Yeah, it's just
they
like...
are.
They're at least in the top 10.
Turnaround. Yeah.
No, they have the best. They have the lowest score points against in the league.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Come on. What's the team in orange and black, Dad?
Son, these are the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay. Who's that number 9?
That's Carson Palmer. You know what? Have I ever told you why your name is Carson?
No, why? You have to see me. Come on, you can't hear me?
Well, son, one day you're going to play for this team. You're going to be just like him.
What? Really? No, you're not. Come on, don't listen to him. You're a lineman.
How would you like a number 9 jersey, just like the one up there?
What? Really? Are you being serious?
You know what, son? I have something I want to give you.
No, don't take it. You can't get hooked. No.
Oh no.
No, they ruined Carson Palmer. They made him lose his love for football.
I need to build a
Go
time
on,
machine.
try it on.
This feels like the Breaking Bad. No, hey, don't do it, scene.
No! Please, you have to hear something. It's not worth all the bad games just because they had one good season. They might make it to the Super Bowl again, but they're not going to win.
Story of my life, right there. Story of my life.
That's where it started for you.
Yeah.
Is that why you're actually named Is that why you're named Palmer?
Yeah, I'm not named Palmer. Thankfully, my dad's not crazy of a Bengal fan. So the final score of this game, this is an AFC North game, was 44-38. Steelers
You
get the
said
win.
it, Achille.
Yeah, the Steelers get the win in Pedro Stadium. The Yeah. The biggest news that came out of this game was apparently afterward people found out that Joe Burrow bought one of the Batmobiles from Christopher Nolan's Batman series, and now people.
Wait, really?
He did. He bought a $3 million Batmobile. Which,
Fucking
I
hell,
mean,
Joe.
he has to dress up to a certain game as Batman in the upcoming future. Probably not this season, because this season, it's not over. Surprisingly, it's not over. There's a 1.7% chance, based on CBS Sports analysis, of the probabilities to get into the postseason that the Bengals could make the playoffs. So it's not over yet. The fat lady is not singing. However, is she walking onto the stage? You bet your sweet bippy she is. So,
At your sweet baby.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff the Bengals need to address. Not much of it's on the offensive side of the ball.
Are people trying to say that Joe Burrow's not playing well just because he bought that?
No, not at
No,
all.
Okay.
no. I mean,
Okay, I was about to say
Also-
so he did not lose.
playing
that
Also,
game.
the
fine,
fact,
honestly.
yeah, Joe Burrow is actually playing the best football he's ever played. If we could
Yeah, I
get
mean, look
one
at these stat
person on
lines.
defense, well, actually, there's one person on defense that's playing like Joe Burrow, and that's Trey Hendrickson, who's leading the league in sacks still. But
And Joe Burrow has the most touchdowns of any player.
yeah, he's the best touchdown to interception ratio, the most passing yardage, the best quarterback rating. He was the NFL Player of the Week or month for November. So I'm like, Jovember is real, and Jovember happened. But at the same time,
Jovember is not staying as a name.
but at the same time, the Bengals, it was Bungvember, because the Bengals overall couldn't win games because our defense wide the fuck open, barn door. We just couldn't stop anybody, and I feel like this is now like damning evidence against coaching staff, because we have the talent offensively, and it seems like in certain spots defensively, to do things, and it's just not being utilized properly. We have the best quarterback in the NFL statistics-wise, and probably almost talent-wise, is almost non-arguable now, besides like Patrick Mahomes. But Joe Burrow's, yeah, right there. Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. He's leading the Triple Crown already. And now we have what seems like the best edge rusher in the NFL in Trey Hendrickson. Our O-line has been banged up, but still looks a lot better. We just need to find a left guard. Zach Martin, if you hear me. And then our defense need to, fix some issues in the secondary. But at the same time, it's like we've eliminated everything else, and it just centers on coaching. And the 12-year-old Nebraska graduate we have as a head coach, and sadly, Lou Anarumo seem like they both got to go. And Lou Anarumo has drawn up some amazing defensive schemes that won us the games against Kansas City and kept us in games against Kansas City in the playoffs and even beat Buffalo. But now it just seems like he doesn't know what he's doing, because guys are wide the fuck open constantly. Like, there was a play late in this game.
I don't know if it's going to be the DC or the secondary talent. Because this is a very abnormal Lou Amarillo defense.
Anarumo. Where is it? They have to show this play. So stupid.
Well, everybody can find it. All right.
Oh, right here. Yeah, this play. Watch this. So this is Bengals get a touchdown. It's a 10-point game. There's a possibility of us coming back, right? Fourth quarter,
Yep.
6 minutes, 31 seconds left. Bengals have all 3 timeouts. So look at this setup. All 11 Bengals you can see right now. Do you see this? K-Duff, wake up.
Yeah.
Do you see where all the Bengals are?
In the box.
Yes.
In the box. You see how there's 3 safeties, basically. So this is engage 8. This is like the Madden play. Again, that's not what they really call it, but this is basically it. As you can see, one guy's late to getting to position, realizes he's in the wrong spot. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. So there are 8 players rushing and 7 blockers. That means somebody has a free lane to the quarterback. And no, there isn't, because we drop a defensive lineman in BJ Hill and a outside linebacker in Taylor, or not Taylor Britt, Akeem Davis Gaither back, But when they drop back, they're at the line of scrimmage. And instead, one of our safeties decides to flip his hips and just let Pickens get wide the fuck open. Like, also...
That wasn't Pickens.
Or it was somebody. But regardless, horrible play call.
Yep.
Also, at the end of the game, we had the ability to get the ball back, and they bring Justin Fields in. When they bring Justin Fields in, what are they going to do?
Run. Should we even show the stats?
Bengals gonna Bengal.
Yeah,
Bungle.
44-30 at the final score.
Bungle.
Russell Wilson had a field day, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks. Joe Burrow, 28 for 38 for 309, 3 touchdowns, and an interception and 4 sacks. The interception was even a tip ball that wasn't his fault. Najee Harris, 16 for 75 and a touchdown. Really good days for some of the other receivers. I mean, like, I'm just going to go through the Pittsburgh receiving stats. George Pickens, 3 for 74 and a touchdown. Pat Freiermuth, 6 for 68 and a touchdown. Jalen Warren, 4 for 55. Najee Harris, 6 for 54. Van Jefferson, 1 for 43. Cordell Patterson, 3 for 37, sorry. Calvin Austin, the second, 2 for 29 and a touchdown. Ben Skoranek, 1 for 23. Michael Pruitt, 2 for 21. And Darnell Washington, 1 for 10. There was no receiver on the Steelers that didn't have over 10 yards of receiving.
Yeah.
You mean under?
Under, sorry. Like, again... Bengals, what are we doing? We'll leave it at that.
The Bungles broke you.
But the Steelers, also, this is the winning season.
The law broke before the Bungles did.
They're 9-8, winning season once again. Now, watch them lose 5 straight. That would be so funny.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be
Miss the
so
playoffs,
funny.
that'd be amazing.
No, I think, I don't know, they might still make it at 9-8. The AFC's pretty bad this year, but Cardinals and Vikings, everybody. 22-23, the final score. The Vikings get the win in a nail-biter. They were able to come back and score 10 points in the final quarter in order to win the game.
Talking about winning by skin of their teeth, Minnesota's been winning by skin of their teeth this year.
I definitely think they're in that same Chiefs boat. Now, the Chiefs obviously have a lot more pressure on them because they are back-to-back Super Bowl defending champions, and there's a lot more pressure on a guy like Patrick Mahomes than Sam Darnold. However, this Vikings team started the year very good, and they're 10-2 for a reason. And this team, at least the last 4 or 5 games, hasn't looked like a 10-2 team most of the time. Now, they still have been able to win games, which is all that matters, but you still need to be able to win the big games. And it doesn't matter if you're 10-2 or 2-10. When you get to the playoffs, you win 1 game or you lose 1 game, and your season's over or continuing because of it. Kyler Murray, 31 for 45 for 260, a touchdown, 2 picks, and 1 sack. Running the ball for them, James Conner, 17 for 68. Kyler Murray, 7 for 48. Trey Benson, 3 for 20. And Murray DeMercado, 3 for 12. 154 rushing yards in total. Receiving, Trey McBride, 12 for 96. Marvin Harrison Jr., 5 for 60 and a touchdown. Michael Wilson, 5 for 55. Elijah Higgins, 2 for 23. James Conner, 3 for 13. Tip Raymond, 1 for 9. And Murray DeMercado, 1 for 3. And Greg Dortch, 2 for 1. For the Vikings, Sam Darnold, 21 for 31 for 235. 2 touchdowns, 5 sacks, no picks. Rushing, he also led the way, 4 for 22. Cam Akers, 4 for 22. Aaron Jones, 5 for 22. And Ty Chandler, 2 for 2. 68 rush yards in total. A really weird rushing column for them. Receiving, Justin Jefferson, 7 for 99. Jordan Addison, 4 for 54. T.J. Hawkinson, 3 for 28. Johnny Munt, 2 for 22 and a touchdown. Jalen Noyer, 1 for 8. Brian Powell, 1 for 8. And Aaron Jones, 3 for 6 and a touchdown. Again, this Vikings squad defensively struggled to stop the pass. They were able to kind of contain the run a little bit, but the pass was something that they were not able to stop a lot. There was a lot of play action being thrown around by the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray, despite Call of Duty coming out, has still seemed like a very, very solid quarterback and is able to really improvise a lot, create a lot of extra time for his receivers to get open, and he has a good, solid acumen of receivers. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr., as well as James Conner in the backfield, are a lot of good options that they can pass to. Also, a fumble or 2 by the Minnesota Vikings gave the Cardinals some good possessions, and the Cardinals were able to capitalize as much as they could, but the Vikings, again, didn't break, and managed to get the win in the very end. How do we feel about this game?
It was pretty boring at first.
Kinda, yeah.
Minnesota skinned their teeth.
Yeah.
It's been a long day for me, too.
Yeah.
Minnesota by skin their teeth again. It's kind of like 2 years ago.
Yeah, not the best time to start having a down spiral. However, it is a down spiral that isn't resulting in losses, so it's the best kind of downward spiral, I guess. And then for the Cardinals, I mean, you're still in it. You're 6-6, and Seattle's 7-5. Like the NFC West is still open for you to take. You just have to make sure you win your games. So we'll see how that goes. But Kyler Murray still seems like he's developing well and is a franchise quarterback for this team.
Well, it doesn't have It doesn't have Kingsbury as coach, so that helps.
The Vikings.
Yeah, that's always an improvement.
The Vikings just need to have a more consistent defense in many ways because they were very good at the beginning of the season, but now are kind of struggling. And they need to make sure that they get their best players involved more often and better. Jefferson wasn't really involved in this game as much early. T.J. Hawkins is back, get him more involved. And then it seems like Cam Akers and Aaron Jones are being very good players for your offense. Make sure to use them a little bit more because this game there was not a lot of usage for them. So hopefully you can address some of those issues upcoming. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. K-Duff.
I'm just going to fall asleep for this. Wake me up.
Wake me up.
Me up before
when
you
September.
go.
I will say, though, maybe there was a good point in me missing most of these games. I didn't have to see the dumbass play calling Gerard Mayo has been making these past few weeks again.
Again, silver lining for you Patriots fans. Drake May looks really good. Drake May.
That's the only good takeaway you can take from this. Honestly, I love Drake. I love what Drake May's doing. This, even if it's in a losing effort.
Like that's what I'm doing with the Bengals right now, K-Duff. Like,
yeah.
Hey, we're not winning, but dude, Joe Burrow looks like he looks like Batman. Like no one can stop him.
I gotta have my first overall pick in my entire lifetime as a Patriots fan, but hey, at least my quarterback looks good.
Yeah,
and that too. Travis Hunter, welcome to New England.
Yeah, 24 for 30 for 238, a touchdown, 1 pick, 4 sacks. Great day for him. Ramondre Stevenson on the ground, 18 for 73. Antonio Gibson, 7 for 62 and a touchdown. Drake May, 5 for 59. I mean, again, this guy's sneaky athletic. 200 rush yards for the Patriots. Yeah. Great day on the ground for them. Receiving, Hunter Henry, 7 for 75. Austin Hooper, 4 for 42 and a touchdown. Keyshawn Bodle, 3 for 41. Kendrick Bourne, 3 for 39. Ramondre Stevenson, 3 for 21, and Demario Douglas, 4 for 20. For the Patriots, Anthony Richardson, 12 for 24 for 109, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, no sacks. He also ran the ball 9 times.
I think you mean for the Colts.
Sorry, for the Colts.
Yes.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, 50% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 9 rushing attempts, 48 yards, 1 touchdown. Performance from him. It was kind of bad, kind of good. Again, not many people in the league can, take a handoff, or not even a handoff, take a direct snap as a quarterback and bowl over somebody, but that's what Richardson is. Taylor had a good game, though. 25 carries, 96 yards. Receiving, Michael Pittman, 5 for 42. Ogletree, 1 for 22. Alec Pierce, 2 for 16 and a touchdown. Mo Ali Cox, 2 for 15. Jonathan Taylor, 1 for 7 and a touchdown. And Will Mallory, 1 for 7. Everyone expected the Colts to be a dark horse team. They're sitting at 6-7 in AFC South, which is still winnable by them, honestly. The Texans are only 8-5. But every week, Anthony Richardson is either really good or really bad. And this week was one of the few weeks where he's not either one. And he just was like, meh. And I don't know how long you want to continue the experiment with him. Because I think still he's had some upside, but you need to develop him quickly. And I don't know if... I really think you need to find a good quarterback for that. This might sound absolutely stupid, but I think you need to make an attempt at getting Lincoln Riley away from USC. You need someone
Lincoln Riley in the NFL?
He was.
I don't think that could work.
He was for a while, I believe.
Okay, back in the NFL?
Yeah.
Does he want to lose? He's not going to make as much money as he does in college.
Yeah, but also you get to develop a quarterback like Anthony Richardson. I mean, make an attempt. You need someone to develop this guy because there are some issues that he has. Because I don't know. I think if this Colts team gets into the playoff, they're a first round bump. They get bumped in the first round. I don't think they're moving any.
Oh, for sure. They're a wild card weekend warm up for like an actual contender.
Yeah. So I think that's how I sit with the Colts. And then for the Patriots, rough season, obviously. A lot of rebuilding to do. But hey, you have the hardest part of the rebuild done. It seems like you have a guy at quarterback that you can rely on in Drake May. And you got to be thankful for that. And yeah, you can put pieces around him.
And if this year was just like with Mac Jones, it was just a flash of the pan year and he sucks next too, hey, Archer Manning's not that far away.
Yeah. Yeah, he isn't. No, he's not. It's funny we're saying that. He doesn't technically start for Texas if everyone's healthy.
Well, assuming Quinn Ewers finally goes into the draft and after somebody like overlooks how awful he was in college and thinks he's their next starter, then he'll get his chance next year.
That's the thing is Quinn Ewers. If I don't have a high draft stock, he can stay another year. Like, I don't know if he'd stay at Texas because Steve Sarkisian might be like, look, transfer or sit the bench because Arch is here.
Yeah.
But,
and the Mannings are going to literally execute me in a video game if I do not start Arch this year.
in Minecraft. But yeah. The second best thing about the Patriots, other than, Drake May, these uniforms are cold. These are fly uniforms. I love
the OG, the classic throwbacks. Yeah, they're great.
Beautiful.
If only
uniforms.
we could win while wearing them.
Speaking of good uniforms, Jets. This is just the Aaron Rodgers Darkness Retreat special uniforms.
Well, I kept saying that this game was basically 9 beers in before kickoff. So.
Oh my god, 9 beers? More like fucking 5 rum.
Yeah.
5 like rum. Jesus Christ.
5
bottles of moonshine.
5 rum what? 5 shooters? 5 gallons? 5 liters? 5 cups?
My
yes.
Like 500 milliliters. I don't know. The special
English
teams,
units, motherfucker. Do you speak them?
This game made me lose brain cells.
Yeah, as has every Jets game this season. 26-21, the final score. The Seahawks.
No, the Seahawks special teams.
Yeah.
Tell me how many big gulps that is in alcohol.
Yeah. 26-21, the final score. Seahawks get the win in MetLife. You're talking about the Seahawks special teams. I didn't look at this. What was the problem?
If you want thing measured in alcohol, I only do it by old fashions.
There was
anything but the metric system in the United States.
Wait, you were saying the Seahawks special teams were bad or good?
Bad. They fumbled a couple of kickoffs. They muffed a punt.
Yeah, that was 2 lost fumbles. Is this one of them?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Fumblerooski.
It literally just squirted out, and only the Jets players saw it.
Ew. Why'd you say it like that?
Did you have to say squirt like that?
You want to not use old man lingo like that?
That's not old man lingo. That's just funny. Squirt.
Moist. Shut up. We're moving on.
What does a soda have to do with football?
Shout out the
Minnesota.
Shout out the soda squirt though. If you haven't tried the soda squirt, try it. Grapefruit flavored soda, really good.
It's great. It's great to mix it with your old fashioned.
Oh, now you hear the soundboard.
Yeah, now I actually hear.
You mix old fashioned with.
Yeah, well, Wisconsin old fashioned.
We're not talking about the game because how drunk.
Why do we want to talk about the game? I mean, there was Aaron Rodgers.
You've never had a Wisconsin old fashioned.
That's a Wisconsin. I'm never going to Wisconsin again. That's what you call an old fashioned: is squirt and whiskey.
Oh, it's more than that.
It's a whiskey squirt.
Is it?
So, essentially, think of like your regular old fashioned.
I got the whiskey squirts. I need to go to the laboratory. No. Hold on.
No, think of your like regular old fashioned. You got your bitters, muddled cherries, muddled oranges.
Yeah.
We use brandy usually.
Okay.
And then usually like in your glass you do about a shot and a half, and then you splash either Sprite for sweet and squirt for sour.
That's just like
it's a splash.
Sour then. Like don't ruin an old
just call it a whiskey. Yeah, that is a whiskey sour. What the?
Go have a Friday night fish fry in Wisconsin and get a Wisconsin old fashioned, and
it's fish and fish and chips, not fish fry.
Look, until you can have.
Oh yeah, that's right. The kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah. So
what are we even talking about?
The Jets were so close this game because of the ineptitude of the Seattle Seahawks special teams. But Geno Smith had a good day, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, 20 for 31, no picks, 3 sacks. Aaron Rodgers continued to struggle, 21 for 39 for 185, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks. Again, a ton of fucking checkdowns. I mean, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play here next year. He says he wants to. The ownership and GM says they don't want him to. Well, the former GM now. So there's just a lot of issues in New England or no, not New England. Well, yes, in New
No,
England.
we do not claim ownership of this team. Do not put that evil on us.
Don't
you put that evil on me, City.
Hey, yo, there's a lot of issues in New Jersey.
And then that fumble. Yep.
Holy moly! And then the Jets
I
still
saw
lost
that.
this game. I'm done. Fuck
Yep.
it. No. I'm sorry, Jets and Seahawks fans. If you watch this podcast,
No, stop. Wait. Just remember, that kicker that recovered that was Anders Carlson. Our kicker that sucks ass.
Anyway, Titans Commanders.
Titans,
you are fucked.
I mean, what did you
Commanders? Are they back on the saddle at least with this now?
I mean, with a win, yes. Even if it's against the Titans, they were not playing around with the Titans.
True. I mean, 42-19.
The first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, the score was 21-0 Commanders. They were not playing around, which is good by Dan Quinn to get this team ready to go and get back on the winning track.
Yeah, even though with the 42 points, it does not look like that. Look at some of these stat lines here. Well, maybe when you get to the running, that makes more sense.
Rushing. They ran all over.
Because I read Daniel's stat line of 206 for three touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks. I'm like, that can't be right. And then scroll down, 267 rushing yards.
Brian
that makes
Robinson,
more sense.
16 carries, 103, 1 touchdown. Chris Rodriguez Jr., 13 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Jaden Daniels, 9 carries, 34 yards, 1 touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, 6 for 32, and Diami Brown, 1 for 4. 267 rush yards on this Titans defense.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much else I can say. Terry McLaurin, 8
Titans score Super Bowl.
Zach Ertz, 3 for 35 and a touchdown. Diami Brown, 4 for 35. For the Titans, Will Levis, 18 for 37 for 212. 2 touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks. Not a bad day from him, but obviously not great.
Slight improvement.
Not really able to get a lot of things going as far as getting the drives to make positive amounts of points on the board. And then running the ball was abysmal. Tony Pollard, 8 for 35. Tajay Spears, 1 for 3. Will Levis, 2 for -3. 35 rush yards in total on 11 carries. So this Tennessee Titans team could not get first downs enough, and they were off the field a ton, putting their defense on the field a lot. And the the Commanders went to town. And again, good to get back in the win column. They were in a bit of a slump. Jaden Daniels continues to kind of further his case for being the offensive rookie of the year, which I feel like he hasn't locked up at this point, but it's nearly there.
There's going to be a quarterback we're going to talk about later on that might be getting it soon if he continues his play.
Offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Nix.
Yeah. Bo Bronco Nix. Yep.
I mean, he showed so much improvement from the first 2 weeks.
He has, yes. I think Jaden Daniels has had a peaked earlier and continued this peak for a while, so maybe he gets it. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's nothing against Daniels. It's just Bo Nix is starting to pick up.
He is. He very much so is. All right. I'm not going to talk about this one much more. The Commanders are still in position to win the NFC East if possible. They're 8-5. Philadelphia's 10-2. As we know, Philadelphia and the end of the season don't go well together. And for the AFC South, Tennessee is 3-9, most likely out, or almost certainly out of the AFC South race. So let's go ahead.
Maybe if they bring Nick Foles back.
No.
Survive.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Lawrence versus the Houston Texans.
Versus the elbow.
Yep.
So good.
I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
But that video was too funny not to share. So
that was a dirty fucking hit. Jesus.
It
fuck.
was.
Yeah.
It was, in my opinion, it was about 80% dirty. In my opinion.
No, it was 100% dirty.
100%.
You see that he fucking headhunted.
I got flashbacks to Perfect.
Yeah, you basically this is perfect level shit.
Yeah, which I'm happy to say that I'm just reading this now. Now apparently Alshire appealed the decision to suspend him. That has now since been upheld, citing former history of which, meaning he has done this before. I do not know anything about this guy?
It was
He's-
like the first or second quarter. It was first or second
He's
quarter.
done a couple late hits and whatnot.
Did Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
come back into the game?
No,
Oh, God,
no.
It was Mac Jones all the way after that, I think.
So the only reason I say this is, again, this is on Alshire, 100%. Well, I say this is his fault, but also at the same time I can see why he was going. There's Mac Jones. Where is this hit? Did they not show it?
Probably not. I say 90% his fault.
It was 100% Shahir's fault.
I'm saying 90.
Because you see
Because
because when we find the replay, actually, like Lawrence is full in a slide at the moment. That is your universal pull off mode.
Yeah, the only thing is
Shire did not pull off.
Yeah. Did they not show it?
It was in the first quarter. Hold on.
Why did they not show it?
Because it's a fucking egregious hit.
See, there's Mac Jones. What? I mean, it's a tough hit. I get that, NFL, but at the same time, like,
I just Googled the hit video real quick.
I found it.
Okay.
I found.
He's determined to find it in these highlights. I don't think watching a quarterback's head bounce off the turf is a highlight.
Second quarter, 4:19 left.
Yeah.
Just gonna go to this. Sorry for the quick cutaway.
I just posted it in Discord to show. It's the first play.
Yep.
So yeah. The only thing I'll say here is that here he comes
actually,
around, he's running, that's fine, and boom, here.
You can see him getting ready to slide here.
Now let me slow it down a little bit. I think the only reason where you could say, like, I don't understand Ashil's position, this is too hard of a hit, especially for a quarterback that you kind of know is sliding, but Trevor Lawrence starts his slide
right there.
Here.
Now that's the point where you can stop right there, and you still
Right
keep
there.
going. And you can just know what's happening next.
And then you see him with this arm. He did the fucking forearm to the head. So that's all Shazier. You cannot blame the quarterback at all. Fuck you, Rex Ryan, you fat piece of fuck.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan was like, ban slides. It's like, no.
I think there definitely needs to be the rule from college where you can't fake a slide. That definitely needs to be a rule so that this stuff doesn't ever happen again. And Al-Shire is definitely at fault for this. I think Lawrence should have slid a little earlier, but again, that's a ticky-tack thing against Lawrence. This is still on Al-Shire for leaving his feet, and leading with the forearm isn't wrong, but going for the head is a little bit wrong. But obviously here, he's trying to go for the chest. He's lowering, hits him in the head. And I've seen mixed things from Al-Shire when he said he's apologized to Lawrence and everything like that, but also at the same time...
Was Lawrence conscious when he apologized?
No, like he apologized the day afterward, and then... Then also he was like you make me your villain, NFL, for doing that hit, and you're gonna get penalized for that regardless. Also, props to the Jaguars for having their quarterbacks back. If I were a lineman and I saw my quarterback get hit like this, the guy that hit him, I'm taking the 15.
Oh my god, he got taken. He's got taken out by an entire fucking Jaguars team there.
And that is, in my opinion, that is rightfully so. If a guy hits your quarterback go after him.
Like I'm not saying it's not warranted. I just didn't see the aftermath after the hit because all I kept seeing was the replays of the slow mo of Trevor Lawrence just getting his bell rocked.
One thing I saw some people.
Hockey. If somebody hits Sidney Crosby, somebody hits you.
Yeah. Or if you touch a goalie.
Oh yeah, if you touch a goalie, the bench is clear. You're fucked.
Yep.
I did see some people.
The goalie's gonna knock you on your ass.
Yeah.
Some people posting after the hit, they're like, and then he went and fought the Jaguars. I'm like, no, he rightfully got his ass kicked.
Yep.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just he's defending himself because he's getting attacked, but he didn't start
on his way out.
He didn't start the attack.
He got drinks and shit thrown at him, which is not okay for fans to do. But at the same time, is you can understand where it's coming from at least, even if it's not the right thing to do. 23-20, the final score. The Texans get a win, even with Trevor Lawrence. This is too close of a score for the Texans. Obviously, their offensive line has had problems, but as we've talked about before, the play of Stroud last year and this year, there's definitely a discrepancy. There needs to be some closing of that gap. You need to have Stroud play a little bit better this year, especially late in the season now. He went 22 for 34 for 242 and a touchdown, no picks, 2 sacks. A good day from him, but the offense just couldn't be as efficient as they wanted to be. Joe Mixon continues to show that he is a phenomenal running back, and why anyone ever let him leave Cincinnati is a travesty. 20 for 101 yards and a touchdown. CJ Stroud also 5 for 7. Like, there's not even a two-back situation. This is just all Joe Mixon. Receiving, Nico Collins 8 for 119, Dalton Schultz 5 for 61 and a touchdown, Tank Dell 1 for 23, Joe Mixon 4 for 18, John Meskey III 2 for 16. For the Jaguars, Mac Jones 20 for 32 and 235 and 2 touchdowns. He obviously came in after Trevor Lawrence's injury. Trevor Lawrence only went 4 for 10 for 41 and an interception. Rushing the ball, Travis Etienne Jr. 13 for 46, Tank Bigsby 7 for 28, and Brian Thomas Jr. 1 for 11, as well as Trevor Lawrence 1 for 6. I believe that 1 for 6 rush that he had was the rush where he died.
It was.
Yeah. Again, we can just show that replay real quick.
Jesus fucking.
This guy, I don't know what that guy. Oh shit! Why did it fuck up?
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god! That's so bad, but it's fucking.
That guy does so much like funny shit, like covering every NFL game. He does some fucking little skit like that, where he's just in his backyard, just like tweaking.
I will say, I think like the only problem I think I have with the slide rule, as to why I think quarterbacks slide a little bit later, is because the start of the slide is where they end it. That's like where the play is ending.
Yeah.
So as soon as he engages the slide, that's where they end. I think that's why quarterbacks are tending to slide late.
Trying to get as many yards as they can, but then they're also offering up their bodies. There has to be some kind of compensation for it in a way. But
I'm not a big fan of the slide just because how vulnerable you are in this situation, and defensive players a lot of times will be aggressive, and like with that hit there, dirty. But at the same time, you're just really. I think it's worse than trying to take a hit, in all honesty. Just because of how much you expose yourself to that hit, and that hit is going to be 10 times worse than if you came in, tried a shoulder, or just embrace a hit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because you're so exposed in that slide. Which, you know, the obvious argument is you shouldn't hit him, but
it's so hard to pull up when you hit every other player basically the same way, and one group of player you can't hit the same way, and he's trying to get as many yards as he can and slide at a certain spot. So
which don't get me wrong, dirty hit. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't dirty hit at all, but at the same time, it's like
how to change the slide that benefits both parties.
Yeah, I personally don't like it, but I don't really have a solution to say, oh, this will fix everything.
Yeah. But again, 23-20, the final score. Jaguars are going to Jaguar, and the Texans are going to find a way to somehow win a game and make it feel like they lost. So there we go.
Yeah.
Passing up on that game. We'll go ahead and keep moving. Rams and Saints. The Saints basically have no chance to make the playoff anymore, and that's not because of their record. That's because their cornerstone of their franchise, Taysom Hill, is now out for the season with an ACL injury. That's kind of.
I forgot all about this game. I kind of forgot that this game played.
It was 21-14. It wasn't an insane game for the sides. It was just some hard-nosed football played on both sides. A very standard NFL game. Matthew Stafford, 14 for 24 for 183, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks. On the ground, Kerry Williams, 15 for 104 and a touchdown. Blake Corum, 8 for 42. They ran the ball very well. 156 rush yards and a touchdown on 29 carries. Receiving, Puka Nacua, 56 yards, 5 receptions, 1 touchdown. DeMarcus Robinson's 2 for 49 and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell, 2 for 39. Cooper Kupp, 3 for 17.
Thick six.
Cody Parkinson 1 for 13. Kieran Williams 1 for 9. For the Saints, Derek Carr 24 for 37, 184 yards and 1 touchdown. Alvin Kamara 23 for 112 on the ground. He did a great job there. Derek Carr 2 for 12 and Taysom Hill 5 for 10 as well as Kevon Austin 1 for 9. Was that an interception? That what you just saw?
Replay it.
That was supposed to be a fumble, I thought.
He throws.
Oh,
no, it bounced off.
They let the play go and they called it incomplete. Then
they called it incomplete.
Damn,
most likely, but that would have been a nice big man recovery.
Yeah, I don't mind that they let the play go and then the replay after that.
Okay,
was that Braden? I think that was Braden Fisk. That was a decent hustle by him, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Also, receiving wise, Taysom Hill led the way despite his injury, 5 for 37. MVS 2 for 36 and a touchdown. Juwan Johnson 5 for 36. Kevin Austin 3 for 31, and Cedric Wilson 1 for 19. A hard-nosed football fought by both sides. Also, was that a Taysom Hill lead block? He's playing fullback.
This was definitely before the ACL tear.
This guy's quickly becoming one of my favorite NFL players. It's sad because we won't see him
once again.
The season.
What the fuck is a Taysom Hill?
What the fuck is a Taysom Hill? Sad that he's out the rest of the season. That's really going to hurt the Saints, but their odds are pretty much already set in stone. They're 4-8 in a division that's bad, but also at the same time in the NFC, which is a very good conference this year, despite as opposed to the AFC. For the Rams,
only 2 games. Back.
Yeah, you gotta hand it to them. They're staying in the mix. They're 6-6. They're tied with Arizona, but not tied. They're a game below them, even though they have the same record, 6-6, because of a tiebreaker. So they still have a position to win the NFC West, and this team is still very potent offensively. Kieran Williams, even Blake Corum behind him is looking better and better each week. Then you have Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Eventually, they're gonna get Tyler Higbee back after he got that bad leg injury in the playoffs last year. So this Rams team has an opportunity to do something come late season. I think they could also be a first-round bump. Again, this is a shootout team. Their defense is not great, obviously after losing the best defensive lineman in basically NFL history in Aaron Donald. So they still have a lot of improvement to make there, but their offense is a talented weapon. And then for the Saints, that's the season right there. 36-yard missed field goal. That basically describes your season. Is you have so many weapons and you just can't utilize them, and then your defense looks not as good as it used to be, and then you fire
they're
head coach.
They're only 2 games back in the division.
Yeah, so they still have a chance to win the division, but it's not much.
Take division, come back.
Yeah, it's basically back. It's getting there. But yeah, rough situation for both teams. The Rams are definitely less rough. They have a lot of opportunity to do things, but it's just there's also some stuff now they need help from other teams. And then for the Saints, it's basically over. The fat lady's walking on the stage. So not much else to say there. Hard-fought game by both teams, but the Rams get the win. This game was a lot closer than it should have been, but also there's a lot of implications to talk about it for the Panthers, because this might be somewhat of a nightmare situation for the Panthers. I'll explain why. 4 or 5 weeks ago, what were we saying about Bryce Young?
You guys are like
done.
bench, and like was it
bench? NFL's career is done. You're going to be a second stringer the rest of your career. Maybe revive yourself on another team like Baker did from the Browns to the Buccaneers. Right? That's what we said. Kind of. Not.
Yeah, that's what you guys are saying.
Okay. What are we saying now?
Bryce Young is looking much better.
Right. So does that mean when Carolina gets probably one of the top 5 draft picks that they don't draft a quarterback now?
Do they actually have a first-round pick this year, or they trade it with Chicago?
They have one this year.
They do? Okay.
Yes, I think they do. But even regardless of that, does that mean they go to try to pursue a quarterback at all? Do they think Bryce Young is now their guy now? Yeah,
I mean,
know, right?
He's showing improvements, but it doesn't help when there's no one around him in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to, because they got the quarterback, now I need to build more of a worthwhile team around the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying
And
is
what
going to
the-
be a problem is that there start to be. It's kind of like Anthony Richardson. There starts to be some like cloudiness. You don't know if it's really his fault or if it's not anymore. With Anthony Richardson, there's still some cloudiness. With Richardson, is like, is he good? Is he bad? Is it his fault? Is it the team's fault? Is it the coach's fault? And with Bryce Young now, is it his fault? Is it is it his ineptitude? Is it the players around him?
Well, if they're that concerned about that, I could definitely see them using a later round pick, like fourth or further back on a quarterback, maybe.
But are you getting a guy that you can surefire tell that he's the guy?
Yeah, that's the only problem with it.
Well,
but then again, that's always been the mystique of the draft. So
yeah. Because NFL is a team game. Football's a team game. But anybody that follows the NFL or any football will be damned to tell me that a quarterback is not one of the most, if not the most important position to secure when you're doing a rebuild. Unless you're a team in the NCAA that is able to formulate a game plan around a very strong and talented running back and have passing second, you need a quarterback to be able to lead a team and be able to command a team to victory.
Insert Big Ten team here.
Yeah.
Also depends on how much meddling David Tepper likes to do right now.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
As we know. But Bryce Young, also apparently all of the good Bryce Young performances started after famous, I think, singer-rapper Rod Wave put on his Instagram story, at Bryce Young, contact me. And Bryce Young called him up, and then every game since then he's been doing good. So, hire Rod Wave as head coach. Maybe. I don't know. Fuck it, because he did something to Bryce Young. He went 26 for 46 for 298, 1 touchdown, no picks, 1 sack. Led the Panthers to an overtime game against the Buccaneers where they only lost because of a bad fumble by Chuba Hubbard late, which secured the Buccaneers' game-winning field goal. Running the ball for the Panthers, Chuba Hubbard 12 for 43, Brooks 6 for 18, Bryce Young 3 for 17. Receiving, Adam Thielen 8 for 99 and a touchdown, Tommy Tremble 5 for 77, Xavier Leggett 4 for 53, David Moore 5 for 40, Jonathan Brooks 3 for 23. For the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield 21 for 33 for 235, a touchdown and 2 picks with 4 sacks. Rushing, Bucky Irving 25 for 152 and a touchdown, Rashad White 11 for 76. You know how I had last week something pop into my head that I said was a gift from like the football gods about like a trade about Watson for Rodgers? I just had another one. Devontae Adams to the Panthers next year. I don't know why, it just came into my head. Not a trade, he just goes.
I mean, they have the money.
I don't know why. It just came to my head.
Yeah, I mean...
Just vocalizing it. I do not know why. I don't know how. That just... into the brain.
Also, it also depends if Adams wants to keep on playing.
True.
I
mean, these past couple games might have demoralized... Well, not even just age. These past games might have just demoralized him.
Might be a Calvin Johnson situation, you're saying?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to go to a contending team. He wanted to play with Rodgers and go to the playoffs with the Jets. He's not going to do that, and it looks like Rodgers is going to be out by next year. It's basically the same, almost not exactly the same scenario as when he was in Las Vegas with Derek Carr, but it's close to it.
Yeah. Then for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans 8 for 118 and a touchdown. Sterling Shepard 4 for 42. Bucky Irving 3 for 33. Jalen McMillan 2 for 25, and K. Dotton 4 for 20. The Panthers are showing some fight. The Buccaneers still have a lot of good pieces. They definitely have a couple holes in their defense and offense somewhat. I still think their run game sometimes can be a bit lackluster, but this game it obviously wasn't. Bucky Irving or Rashad White went off. But then for the Panthers, some inconsistencies kicking early, but later fixed late, and strong play by Bryce Young kept them in this game and forced overtime, where sadly one fumble was able to cause the change in the game. And I believe that was a little bit sad too, because I think the Buccaneers had the first possession, just had to punt.
No, I think Panthers had the ball first.
Yeah, this was the game tying field goal here. Boom, they get it. They go to overtime.
And then, I guess
Buccaneers had it first. And they march down the field and they try a 55-yarder and it's off. Then any score wins here. This is the NFL rules for overtime. Any score wins. An amazing catch by Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Dad, go.
An amazing catch. And then here comes Chu. And that the life sucked right out of you.
Damn,
Now you're
son,
worried. Now
where'd
you're
you
worried about
find
a
this?
tie. There's only 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. You're worried about a tie here. Baker pushes the ball down the field. Gets a great run here that puts them within long distance field goal range, and now even short distance. And he's out at the 10, and that leaves it all up to the kick, and it's good. That's what won the game for the Buccaneers. So kind of sad that Bryce Young had a position to become a hero, and we would talk about even more now. But he still played a very good game, and again, that gets him in this weird limbo situation where you wonder, is this guy the best option for a team, or is he not? So, yeah. NFC South battles. Gotta love to hate.
Tank division. Ah, yes, the game Deontay Johnson didn't want to play in.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what's going on there, but that was weird.
Eagles, this is what you're supposed to look. I know it was like closer, but you're facing against a good team. This is what you were supposed to look like, Eagles.
Yeah.
Checking in on the Baltimore special teams room. That is Justin Tucker.
Yep.
Justin Tucker.
That's him singing the Requiem for the rest of his career in Baltimore.
I mean, he's had such a good pedigree. I don't think you can get rid of him yet. But if this continues into the latter half of the season and it isn't rectified in some way, maybe.
I mean, we technically are in the latter half of the season, and it doesn't seem like it's being rectified.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's 30.
It's these last 2 games that have been a problem. If it continues on till the end of the season.
I would say it's been going on a little longer than the past 2 games. Like it's not as been prevalent as the past 2 games, but he's been having moments where he's been missing. Where I'm like, okay, that's cause for concern to earn. And then the season kept going on. And he kept like missing at least 1 kick a game, and I'm like, okay. And then these past 2 weeks, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with Justin Tucker?
Yep. Age catches up.
Age can, yep. 24-19, the final score. The Eagles win the Bird Battle in M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Jalen Hurts, 11 for 19 for 118 and 1 touchdown and 2 sacks. 19 pass attempts, 23 rush attempts. I'll leave it at that. I think the Eagles coaching staff finally realized, Nick Sirianni realized, run the damn ball, which good on him.
Yep.
Because Saquon Barkley, 23 for 107 and a touchdown, and Jalen Hurts, 9 for 29 and a touchdown. Receiving, A.J. Brown, 5 for 65, Dallas Goedert, 3 for 35 and a touchdown, Saquon Barkley, 2 for 10, and Jahan Dotson, 1 for 7. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 23 for 36 for 237, 2 touchdowns, and 3 sacks. Rushing, Derrick Henry, 19 for 82, Lamar Jackson, 8 for 79, Justice Hill, 3 for 6, Mark Andrews, 1 for 2. For Baltimore, Zay Flowers, 3 for 74, Mark Andrews, 6 for 67 and a touchdown, Zay Likely, 5 for 38 and a touchdown, Derrick Henry, 3 for 29, Justice Hill, 4 for 15, and Tylan Wallace, 2 for 14. This game was a very good game of football on 2 sides of the ball, offense and defense. For special teams, Baltimore hurt, and that's what lost them this game. They played a phenomenal game defensively. They played a phenomenal game offensively. Philly played a phenomenal game offensively and a phenomenal game defensively. This was a really great game, but sadly what lost it was the little things, and the weakest link in the chain was sadly Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker in this game went 2 for 4 in field goals and 1 for 2 on extra points. That's not good, especially for a guy who, for a while, was the most efficient kicker in NFL history.
Yep. Also, I just saw something that popped up during the highlights. 102 accepted penalties against Baltimore, most in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they have some problems as far as like playing good football when it comes to not playing football without being penalized. A lot of this is also the offense. They run some really wild schemes, and so sometimes they can get a lot of those illegal formations procedures called. And there's also the NFL is more heavily enforcing the tackles, making sure they're far enough forward, and they've been called on that multiple times. So that's something they need to address. But again, the Baltimore Ravens, 99% of the game they were playing phenomenal football. It's just that 1% was key for them, and that was Justin Tucker being a little bit inconsistent at the end of the year, which isn't great. For the Eagles, this is a very good quality win that you needed to boost your caliber. Now you need to keep this up and don't play with your fucking food like you always do at the end of the year. I know you hear me, Macedon. don't play with your food at the end of the year.
Didn't happen every year. It was just last year.
Fix it.
Yeah, but you make it seem like that's the thing they kept on doing for like 30 years. It's like,
How
no,
bad was
it
last
is.
year?
Oh yeah, it was bad last year, but you're making it sound like that's the only thing they do with their whole franchise.
I mean, ever since they've had Hurts, I feel like it's been a bit of an issue where they've been playing under competition a few too many times, especially last year and this year. Because this team, again, the Eagles are 10-2. Do they feel like they're a 10-2 team?
After this game, a little bit more.
Maybe, but going into this game, hell no. Like the Lions feel like they're rightfully 10-2.
Yeah,
now,
well,
now
11-1.
Right, but the Eagles and the Chiefs do not feel like they're supposed to be the win-loss column that they are. That's really all I have to say about this one. Saquon Barkley, another great game that definitely keeps you in a MVP favorite-ish kind of conversation. We'll say ish in a second here. Yeah, in a second was right because, good golly, I love snow games.
Yep, it was a proverbial winter wonderland, and oh my god.
It's the best time of the year. Now, I don't know if they'll be
Bills are just having fun. They were so ready for this weather.
No, it wasn't prepared
Like,
for
Dion's,
this.
look at that. That's
Jesus
Deion
Christ,
Dawkins.
those
Like,
with snowboarding goggles. What the fuck? Who was that?
I mean,
That-
it doesn't help with San Fran. Basically, half their team's injured.
Yes,
And then this guy. This is probably the most you're going to see out of McCaffrey from this game and for the rest of the season.
yeah.
I think it was. I think he got hurt pretty early on. I think it might have been on this play. No.
That
not
guy
on
that
this
you
play,
saw
no.
that was shoeless was Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins, he has a really weird TikTok page where he does like home fixes and everything, quick little things like water heater stuff and bathroom cleaning tips and weird stuff. But hats off to him. He does it, and he does a ton of cold exposure therapy, and he doesn't believe in non-athletic shoes. So he does not wear shoes unless he is going somewhere where he needs to have foot coverings because of protection from obviously like other person's cleats, or to have traction on a field for football, or protection for his feet from any damage from broken shards of glass in a construction zone or something like that. He just doesn't wear shoes in most places. So he walked into this game in the freezing cold temperatures with a ton of snow coming down, wearing nothing on his feet. Just good old fashioned, dogs to the turf.
Oh.
Yeah. 10-35 the final score. The 49ers, beaten up as much as they were, could not compete with the juggernaut Buffalo Bills, who have secured their AFC East championship and a spot in the playoffs with this win. And the Cowboys could not compete with the massive amounts of snow, which there was even more snow in this game than there was a week or two ago with the Browns game against the Steelers in Cleveland. Final score 10-35. Brock Purdy 11 for 18 for 94 yards. Also, before I continue, there was a field goal that happened by the Niners that was attempted to be dissuaded by a Buffalo Bills fan with a cannon who threw a snowball at the field goal as it was going up toward the goalposts and just hucked a snowball and nearly hit it. And it wouldn't have probably changed much trajectory, but it was still funny as fuck to see.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Brock Purdy 11 for 18 and 94 yards. Not a lot of passing here, obviously, as you can see why. Jordan Mason 13 for 17 on the ground. Christian McCaffrey 7 for 53 before his knee injury. He had I believe it was a full PCL tear, which is going to require surgery and the end of his season, which has been a very, very rough season for him. And as you can see, he seems he seemed fine. It seemed like he was finally getting the whole double Achilles tendonitis thing off his back and looked very good, but that just ended. He ran 7 for 53. Isaiah Guerrero 4 for 19. Receiving, Juwan Jennings 3 for 56. Deebo Samuel 4 for 20. Christian McCaffrey 2 for 14, and George Kittle 1 for 7. I know George Kittle's a good blocker, but Shanahan, please, dude, 1 for 7 and 2 targets for one of the better tight ends in the league. Use him. A little bit more, especially in a game like this where, guys like him that played in Iowa, they live for games like this. For the Bills, Josh Allen, 13 for 17 for 148 and 2 touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown, which we'll see in a minute. James Cook, 14 for 107 and a touchdown. Ray Davis, 11 for 63 and a touchdown. Ty Johnson, 5 for 28. Josh Allen, 3 for 18 as far as running the ball. He also had a 7-yard touchdown reception. Dawson Knox, 2 for 56 receiving. Clear Shakir, 4 for 30. Quentin Morris, 1 for 14. James Cook, 1 for 13. Amari Cooper, 3 for 12. And Ty Johnson, 1 for 9, as well as Matt Collins, 1 for 7 and a touchdown. The play I'm talking about, let's see if we can find it here. I think it's closer toward the end of the game. Here. Yep, it's right here. So we'll show you here. And this was kind of a botched play. They're in the red zone. They line up here with a close, tight set. Josh Allen looks left, finds Amari Cooper. Now, again, these guys have been teammates for what, 4 weeks?
About that long, yeah.
About that
Something
long.
like that.
Amari Cooper catches a bad throw by Josh Allen. It was outside of his body, and he's bobbling it and is about to go down, and then they just lock eyes. And something out of a bromance movie flips the ball to him. Josh Allen grabs it and just says, puts the team on my back and makes... You're going to see this slow-mo of Josh Allen diving with one arm outstretched toward the pylon until you die. You are going to see that slow-mo forever.
Probably.
This is going to be ingrained in your brain as you die. You will see this image. Like, this is NFL football. Right there. Especially this angle. This will be like in a Hall of Fame like video board somewhere.
Like bringing a little Kansas City to Buffalo?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's just NFL football there. That's just how it is.
You missed the fucking joke, but whatever. Whatever, dude.
Bills get the win, a convincing win. Niners are still struggling with the cold in this game and also, injuries, which have only compounded after this game because of obviously the loss of Christian McCaffrey, that PCL injury. Not much else needs to be said. But again, beautiful, beautiful looking game. Love a snow game. All right, 2 more games to cover. We got highlights for one of them. That is the Cleveland Browns and the
Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Ooh, thank you. Those hours are getting to me right now. Oh, boy. Yeah. So coming into this game, let's see here. Jerry Jeudy was not in the top 10 in receiving yardage. Coming out of this game, he's 5th. I will repeat that. Jerry Jeudy was not top 10 in receiving yardage going into this game. Coming out of this game, he is 5th. He had 9 receptions for 235 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Moore, 8 receptions, 111 yards. David Njoku, 9 for 52. Michael Woods, 3 for 43. Nick Chubb, 2 for 24 and a touchdown. Jerome Ford, 1 for 21. And Jeremiah Trash, 2 for 11. I'm terrified at this team and what they could do to the Bengals when they play us. Because the weapons that they seem to have could just torch us if our defense is playing like its usually horrible self. Jameis Winston went 34 for 58 for 497 yards and 4 touchdowns with 3 sacks. But in true Jameis fashion, 3 picks.
30 for 30.
Yeah.
The turnover bakery is still open.
So, at his current pace that he is going at with the games he started and the games remaining in the season, Jameis Winston is on pace for breaking the NFL single season passing yards in a season by a quarterback.
Damn.
At the pace that he's going, Jameis Winston is set to break the single season passing record for yardage. That's how insane it's been. Will he also break the turnover record? Maybe. Again, I think this guy is the, just final boss of just, fuck it, blank is out there somewhere. This guy hucks it. And a lot of times it's good, and he knows what he's doing. But other times you're like, dude, what are we doing? Also, Njoku also apparently subscribes to wearing 6 armbands on one arm, too. I don't know. I feel like an old man right now. Like, what are these kids wearing? But as Maston said, we talk about the other side of things when we talk about another good rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, 18 for 35 for 294, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. A good day from him. The picks aren't great, but again, the percentage and the yardage is very good there. Running the ball, Jalen McLaughlin, 14 for 84, and Audric Estime, 3 for 12. Receiving, Marvin Mims, 3 for 105 and a touchdown. Corbin Sutton, 6 for 102. Troy Franklin, 2 for 28. Lucas Kroll, 3 for 24. Nate Atkins, 1 for 16. And Devon Vele, 1 for 16. Do you guys remember last year when I talked about how a playoff game between the Lions and the Rams could be like two blind cowboys in a bar fighting with fully automatic shotguns with 300-foot-long belts?
Oh, yeah.
This was that. This game was that. 32-41, the final score. Broncos get the victory. The amount of yardage in this game was insane. 294 passing yards for Denver, 475 for Cleveland. And Cleveland lost. That's insane amount of yardage. Show this to, go back in time and show this stat line to, I don't know, Paul Brown. Let's start to Paul Brown or George Hallis or Vince Lombardi and just watch them have a seizure in front of you. The modern NFL can have some of these games and it's just weird, man. And it came on a Monday night of all times. So,
yeah.
I was really hoping the Browns would win because I think a Jameis Winston interview after the game with the ESPN Deportes Monday Night Football would have been hilarious, but we didn't get it. So, regardless, a great game by both sides, a decent amount of turnovers, but also, if you want to know how to throw a football, you have a lot of yardage to look for in this game. Any thoughts on this game before we move on to the final one, gentlemen?
Not really, no.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
It's 1:15. Right. We're all heading the wall.
I will say at work I was talking to our art director for this next game. And I said the only way that we can win is we cannot have a turnover.
Yeah. What
we had a turnover.
So this final game, as we record on Thursday night, this game just concluded. 31-34, the final score, a thriller in Detroit, Michigan. The Packers fall to the Lions by 3. Jordan Love, 12 for 20 for 206, 1 touchdown, no picks, 1 sack. Running the ball, Josh Jacobs did very well, 18 for 66 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Love, 4 for 23. Receiving, Christian Watson, 4 for 114. Taven Wicks, 4 for 49. Tucker Kraft, 3 for 41 and a touchdown. And Ben Sims, 1 for 2. For the Lions, Jared Goff, 32 for 41 for 283, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 sack, 109.7 rating. Rushing, David Montgomery, 14 for 51 and a touchdown. Gibbs, 15 for 43. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1 for 10. Receiving, Jamison Williams, 5 for 80. Sam Laporta, 5 for 54. Tim Patrick, 6 for 43. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 for 43. David Montgomery, 5 for 33. Jahmyr Gibbs, 6 for 30 and a touchdown. This was a battle between two very, very good teams that I am willing to say are both Super Bowl contenders at this point. The Packers are a little bit more iffy with that because I think their passing defense has a lot of holes. But other than that, I can't find fault with the Packers. Their O-line's solid, their run game's great, their passing game is great when Jordan Love is making non-Brett Favre decisions. But other than their passing defense, I think this team's got a shot. A real good one at that, too.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Jordan Love bad decision making.
It can happen. That can happen, yeah, for sure. But it's not the worst. It's not Kirk Cousins. He didn't throw 4 picks. He threw none. So,
he almost had one, but there was pass interference called.
This was gutsy play calling by Detroit at the end of the game. They had the opportunity to take a field goal and leave about a minute left on the clock. It was about 4th and 1, and instead, Dan Campbell with a wad of Copenhagen so large in his mouth that he was drooling said, "Go for it." And they went for it, got it, ran the clock down to 2 seconds, and lo and behold, a guy we've been talking about since his professional debut in football, Jake Bates, once again wins the game. He went 2 for 2 on field goals and 4 for 4 for extra points. A great day from him.
They almost messed up that 4th down play call also because Jared Goff was falling down when he was handing off to David Montgomery.
Yeah,
Jared Goff hiked the ball,
he wasn't deliberately taking a knee, so it's not an instant down.
Yep, and it's not college, so he's able to hit the ground. If he's not touched, then he can give the ball off, handed it off, basically proposing to his running back. His running back took it, ran it forward, and they won the game.
And the play before that, David Montgomery made the best chop block of his life.
Yeah.
Illegally.
Yeah. So,
oh well.
Yeah. Refs already fuck over Detroit when Green Bay plays them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, great game by both teams. Both teams played a very solid and near accident-free game. So, any thoughts about this one specifically, Gorlami, since you're the resident Packers fan?
I pretty much like I said earlier. I said if we don't play perfect, we're gonna lose. And we didn't play perfect, and we lost by 3. I think we have Jair that's back by the time playoffs come around. This would be a different ball game
Most likely,
because we can have McKinney one side playing safety, and Jair just locking up Amon-Ra or Williams.
Definitely needed him
because Keyshawn had that one moment of glory, and that was about it.
Missing Jair was definitely a very tough thing here. All right.
Yeah. And then one of our rookie safeties went out for a while. It was rough. Bullard went out.
Definitely some rough.
We just weren't having a fun time.
3-point game still at the very end to one of the better teams, probably the best team in the NFL, I'd say, strength-wise.
Yeah.
So, great performance by both teams. Lions get it done in the end off some, again, gutsy play calling. Just Dan Campbell every day must walk around like Randy from South Park with his nuts in a wheelbarrow. Just
I figured he was going to go for it.
Yeah, that's him. My wife kept complaining, like, they can't do this. This is not allowed. You have to punt on 4th down. You're like, oh, boy.
No, not Dan Campbell.
He can't do that. Shoot him or something.
Shoot him or something.
Wait a minute. That's illegal.
Since Mamba is not here, dealing with some sickness issues, I will go ahead and declare the MVP.
Matt Eberflus is clock management.
The LVP. I could go with Russell Wilson. I don't want to, but I could go with Russell Wilson. I could go with the Jets special teams against the Seahawks. I could go with just the entire Commanders. Honestly, Bryce Young had a very good game. It's just
Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's either Jerry Jeudy or Josh Allen, and it's probably because Jerry Jeudy lost. I'm probably going to go with Josh Allen in this one. I think Josh Allen. With this game, even though the stats don't jump off the page from Josh Allen, I think this put him in the front for MVP conversations. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback stats-wise, but again, the Bengals suck. Saquon Barkley also isn't a quarterback, so that obviously puts him at a disadvantage, whether you believe that's right or wrong. That's how it is, and Josh Allen is now securely in front of a very beloved franchise that isn't hated by a lot of people. Most people feel sad for the Buffalo Bills in most situations, unless you're from Kansas City or Miami or New England. So, yeah. That covers that, and with that, we'll cut to one of our 2 segments before we get to our predictions. Gambling with Gorlami is first.
No, great.
Here we go.
I forgot who I picked.
Here comes the money.
Dollar.
Nice. So, Sunday for the 7 games that are playing during the noon slate, with Derek Carr at QB. Typically, you gotta understand, I had Aaron Jones for years as a Packer. Yes, he had 2 fumbles. He typically bounces back from those, so I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna trust him to bounce back hard on it. Robinson, Atlanta. Jerry Jeudy, just fuck it, we ball. Just maybe he can do it twice. Calvin Ridley, just because who else is on that fucking Tennessee team? Smith from Philadelphia. Kyle Pitts. I am not a Kyle Pitts truther, but I just gotta hope that playing against Minnesota, you're gonna have to run checkdowns to your tight ends and running backs. So Devontae Adams and Saints defense, because they are playing the tank team known as the Giants.
Derp, 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 derp.
Yeah, here's hoping they can do something.
Thank you, Maston. I appreciate that.
The only one I don't agree with, I think, is Devontae Adams. I feel like that's a lot to pay for a guy that's like, you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Then again, I didn't go with any expensive
players
picks
should be
except for
free,
Robinson.
Yeah.
Should be the Giants play. Well, except for Malik Neighbors.
Considering I have 2 on my fucking fantasy team and I'm in first place, I don't know.
Maybe. All right. Moving from that, we will move forward to the Tank Bowl.
Will there be any change? Oh god, I can't really. No, I'm just thinking. It's like, do I actually make changes to any of these?
Maybe. They played well, so I would do this. They won, so I would do this. I mean, that would
All right.
agree before I do that. So, like, here, I don't think they were the worst. They actually nearly beat the Chiefs, and it was because of ref ball.
Yeah, but that fuck up. All right, it's just put them in stinky. Yeah. Cowboys stay at stinky because come on, they played the fucking Giants,
but they won. If they were really the worst, they would have beaten the Giants. But they
No. Keep them as stinky. You're just being the disabled child. All right, hold on. Stop. I'm trying to think for a minute. Switch the Browns and Panthers with the Saints and Titans.
Full on swap.
No. Panthers with the Browns at batter. Saints go to cringe.
Oh, whoops. Okay, there we go. Whoops.
Yeah. And go ahead and sneak the Bengals into bad. That defense is shit.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's it.
Yep. I felt that coming, but it's honestly deserved at this point.
And we might have to make the NFC South side soon.
Maybe. We'll see if some team takes off. All right, let's go ahead and get to our predictions. Take a quick look at the scores. A lot of games played this week, and some people went off. So in last place, I'm still 146-75. I went 12-4 week 13. Gorlami 159-63. He went 21 and I can't see the other number. So
one. He went 21-1.
21-1 had the best record of that time. Then
comeback season
tied for third. K-Duff and Mastodon. Tied in second.
We're tied for first.
No, tied for first.
Actually, sorry. Mamba's, I read that wrong. Mamba's second, 165-67, at 73, and a tie for first. K-Duff, 175-61.
You need to go to bed, sir.
175-61. Mastodon
we all
20-1 compared to K-Duff 17-2. So yeah, this has been a late one. There's a lot of games the Thanksgiving week. So let's go ahead and cover these quickly. I need to actually make sure these are in the right positions first before we go. So yeah, Titans and Jaguars first. What are we thinking about this one here? This is going to be a Jaguars team with Mac Jones.
Yeah. Steelers.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't click that. I just
secret
happened.
Third party.
And the Steelers in the corner with a steel chair. So I still don't like Will Levis. The Jaguars by 3.
Tennessee by 1. I want to say tie, but no, that's not going to happen.
Right, Gorlame.
Yeah, I don't trust Mayo, man. Yeah, give me Jaguars by 7.
Okay, Dizzle.
Oh yeah, sorry. Give me.
It's honestly difficult when there's like one of us missing.
Do I trust Mac Jones or Will Levis more?
Mayo Buffalo chicken dip be undercooked.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Hellman's Mayo by 3.
Oh my god, we're evenly split on this absolutely god awful game.
Oh, this
will be
a
tiebreaker once he gets those
It is
scores.
Super Tank Bowl for Jaguars Titans.
This isn't your average Tank Bowl. This is advanced
Dolphins
Tank Bowl.
Coming up. There's not going to be much defense played by the Dolphins, but also I don't think the Jets will be playing much football. Dolphins by 7.
Miami by 5.
Dolphins by 10.
It's being played in Miami.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so no cold weather. Dolphins by 13.
Yeah. Key factor. Honestly, a key factor there. Not a bad thing to look for there. All right. Moving on here. Let's go ahead and go to Falcons Vikings. This could be Michael Penix's first start in the NFL. I don't think it will be, though. I don't think the Falcons are that deep water yet, and Kirk Cousins has gotten them this far. But Kirk Cousins' old team is going to bite him in the butt here. I'm going to take the Vikings by 10.
Minnesota by 11.
And Minnesota by 9.
Minnesota by 10.
Agreeing with Minnesota there. Okie dokie. Moving on after this, we have the Saints and the Giants. I was on the Tommy DeVito hype train for a while. That did not work out well for me. And even though the Saints are a little bit depleted, they still have some chance at the playoffs, and so they're going to really try to capitalize on that as much as they can. And it's the Giants. Give me the Saints by 5.
I shall say the Derp's gonna lose by 8.
Is this really a question?
No.
Unfortunately.
Honestly? Give the team formerly known for Bounty Gate by 14.
Yeah, give me Who Dat Nation by 7.
Alrighty, there we go. All in agreement with the Saints on that one. Alrighty, moving on from there, we have the Panthers and Eagles. Just say by what? I'm gonna go by 14.
Philly
What if I want to pick the Panthers?
10.
Pick the Panthers. Pick the Panthers. I'll give you 10 points if you win. Fuck it. Like, if you really think the Panthers are gonna break off the Eagles.
That's a fucking false statement, though.
Math doesn't charge the I'm just saying shit.
I already said Philly by 10. Go ahead, Gorlami.
Saquon, are they playing home or away?
They're at Philly.
So Saquon Barkley is going to basically hurdle the entire fucking stadium, and they're going to win by 21.
Damn.
Yeah. I made them Eagles by 18.
All right. Browns, Steelers.
Gonna be a bloodbath.
Yep, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This game always is a tough one. I'm going to take the Steelers in this one by 7. It will not be a pretty game in the slightest. There could be a lot of Jameis Winston turnovers with this one.
Steelers to the Super Bowl by 9.
Yeah, I don't think Jameis Winston's LASIK's going to help him here. Give me the Steelers by... We'll go 9. Wait, did you say 9, Masson?
Yeah, but you can pick the same. Yeah, you can pick the same.
Yeah, but I don't want to, so I'm going to go 12.
And we see you almost last.
Steelers going to win by 5.
Ready. There we go. Oop. Shit. Okay. Well, all right. Seahawks Cardinals next. This is a
you skip 10, baby.
I'm sorry. Raiders Buccaneers. Sorry for me skipping such a riveting game. 10.
Tampa Bay by 8.
I mean Menthol Zins by 10.
He's cinnamon. He's got to be cinnamon Zins. There's no way that boy isn't cinnamon.
You
Zins.
saw the fucking video. It looked like menthols.
All right. Let Baker bake by 13.
What's more out of pocket, ripping a menthol Zin or ripping a fucking cinnamon Zin?
Meth.
Meth streams?
Racist chat?
Meth streams?
Actually,
No.
You have a cinnamon Zin. God damn it.
I also got rogue peppermint.
Sponsor us, Zin. Put that away. Sponsor us, Zin. We got you. I don't know.
Don't even chew.
Sponsorship money. What would we do with sponsorship money?
I would just ask.
I'd finally buy a new computer.
I would just request 10 mil Zins.
Actually, I would love from 10 mil Zins. I would love that.
You guys are fiends. Holy shit, you guys are injecting Zinachinos into your fucking bloodstream.
I mean, those two are. I'm not fucking doing it.
I fucking rip double deckers.
whatever.
KDF
All
is
right.
just speed. You guys are not on KDF's level. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Seattle, Arizona.
Yeah, Seattle, Arizona. This is a tough battle for the NFC West. 6-6 versus 7-5. This could really determine some seeding and playoff potential for both teams. And this is in Arizona. I don't know why. I'm hearing Cardinals right here. I don't know why, but I'm taking them by 5.
Yeah, this is a tough one, but I think Seattle is going to get the win by 4. This is the second time they face against each other, and Seattle did win first time, if I remember right.
Yep, that was in Seattle.
Cardinals by 6.
Cardinals by 6. Okay.
Give me Cardinals by 10.
Wow.
Now, if we had Mamba here, he would say, "Give me the Birds."
I can see either way. Like,
Give me a bird team that is in the NFC West.
Yeah. No, I could see either team winning. It was just a matter of
Bills Rams from California. As despite the fact that the Bills played good at home because the California team went to them, I don't think them going to a California team is going to dissuade them from playing well at all. I see them winning what could be quickly could become a shootout. I'll see them winning this one by 7.
Also, you forget that there's no LA fans. It's going to be mostly Buffalo fans going to fill that stadium. Buffalo by 11.
You think people from Buffalo want to go to California?
Right now, probably, if they hate the cold.
Maybe.
Well,
if you hate the cold,
mean,
why are you living in Buffalo? Holy shit.
Well, it's not
That is a fair
but
point.
you forget it's Bills Mafia. They're nuts.
They are everywhere, yes. True. All right, Gorlami.
Give me Bills by 10.
It's by 10. And KDF.
Yeah, give me the Bills by 9.
Like that one that one science song right now for us. Bills,
Boo,
Bills,
boo,
Bills,
boo,
Bills.
boo, boo.
Bill Nye
The science guy.
Bill. Santa Clara, California, the 49ers coming off a bad loss on Sunday Night Football. They lost Christian McCaffrey. They lost also Jordan Mason. They're on their third string running back. They're probably going to get George Kittle more involved. We'll see. I believe you reported, KDF, that Trenton Williams will not be playing this game, obviously due to losing a newborn child.
Maybe it's hard to tell.
Obviously, a lot of process going through that.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a lot to play for in this game. But I got a feeling.
I can't stop this feeling.
How much?
3. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I feel like the 49ers are spiraling out of control, and it could only be the Bears to make them spiral even further.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chicago by 2 just because of all the injuries to San Fran.
Give me the team.
Bosa back. Ooh.
Yeah, it's even
If
more.
he could have a 10-sack night against that Chicago O-line. Ooh.
You raise a fair point.
Give me the team based in Chicago, but owned by a team in Green Bay by 6.
Wait, here, Gorlami.
But you forget.
I mean,
you forget that also to forget that Green Bay is owned by San Fran. So that's.
They beat San Fran this year, though. They beat San Fran this year.
They
I
did.
must go against my father.
Give me Bears by 3.
Alrighty. Moving on from that one, we have the Sunday night game, and this should be pretty good. Chargers Chiefs, one of the best defenses in the league, versus the Chiefs, who are the Chiefs. This game was very close the last time they played. This is in Kansas City. This is going to be a cold game. And let me tell you, what types of coaches from what college conference tend to thrive in cold weather, late December game?
God, just
keep on deep throating that Harbaugh cock.
It is 20 to 2 in the morning. Just say Chargers.
Now, to be fair, lake effect snow in Michigan makes it a little tougher.
3. I said LA by 3.
You said Chargers by 3 or Kansas City by 3?
Yes. Yes. LA Chargers by 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the Chiefs might run out of black magic on this one, so give me the Chargers by 9. Why are you assuming I'm going to pick the Chiefs, dude?
Give me the referee's best friends by 7.
Ooh.
Well, at least it's not us. At least it's not us anymore.
Yeah. And then finally, the game that can't be flexed out of the Monday night slot because there was a Simpsons pre-recorded dialogue for it. I'm not kidding. Bengals Cowboys. The reason the Bengals Cowboys cannot be flexed from the Monday night slot is because they did a partnership with the Simpsons to have voice lines in it somehow.
Is it like when they have SpongeBob and Patrick calling games on Nickelodeon?
I don't think like that. It's a little different.
But they're doing like what they did for the Toy Story thing of like on the one of the channels. Supposed to be the Simpsons characters. Yeah, that might be
it. Bengals Cowboys from Arlington. Bengals Cowboys from Arlington, Texas. You can call me a homer. You can call me whatever you want. I do like how Chase Brown has been playing at the running back position. I think he could do some things against the Cowboys. I'll take the Bengals by 3.
Frick you, Cowboys! Cincinnati by 5. You are fuck Cowboys with Cooper Rush. Damn.
Eat a dick, Jerry Jones. Give me the Bengals by 14.
Yeah.
All right, I got to use all my energy for this one. How about them Bengals by 6?
You must be really tired. There wasn't a lot of energy in that one.
And the Thursday night game. The Thursday night game for
all right.
We have all.
How disgusting is this Thursday night game going to be?
Drum roll, please.
Actually,
I gotta be up in 4 hours.
Oh, I looked at the week before.
No, this isn't that bad either because this is an injured
Yeah.
Niners team that has usually dominated the Rams. This is a Rams team that is actually getting healthier. I just feel like I can't pick the Niners right now. Just all the injuries and like their morale. Good God, their morale must be so low. Like the Bengals is bad. Can you imagine the Niners getting to the Super Bowl? All these injuries. McCaffrey's out for the rest of the year. He's probably a big locker room guy too. I'll take the Rams in this one by 5.
Yeah, I guess say LA by 2.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Give me the Rams by 6.
Rams by 9.
Alrighty, all in accordance with the Rams there. All right. This has been a very long show, but again, every NFL team was playing, so this is the last week of buys that we are getting into. Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Commanders, Ravens, and Texans all have a bye this week. Very neat for the Texans to get back on track there.
Time.
Yeah. I was going to actually go through the NFL standings at some point, but I forgot about that, but it is too late to get through that now. We just got to cut that out. We're almost pushing 3 hours at this point. So
I got to be up at 4 hours.
Thank you for sticking with it. I know these episodes can get kind of long towards the end of the season, but hey, learned a lot about football and a lot of different things about it.
Yeah, we learned Taysom Hill's a fullback.
Taysom Hill's everything, but right now he's also nothing because he said
I still don't know what the fuck he is.
That's the first guest. If we ever get to have guests on this show, can we all agree the first guest has to be Taysom Hill?
Yes, yeah. I love that.
Yeah, the first guest just has to be Taysom Hill. I don't know why, and we only have to ask him fullback questions. We only ask him fullback questions.
No, I kind of want Jamal Williams.
He would be.
We could have either.
Be cool to have. Yeah.
He'd be a fun one.
At this point, I would be fine having Bart Starr on if he's still. Is he still alive?
He's dead.
No, he's dead for years.
Dead for years.
There's still people from that original Packers team that are alive, though, right?
He died in 2019.
That's not that long ago. It's only 5 years.
Bart Starr is like one of the few standing. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while.
It has been a while. Yeah, I would take Doug Flutie on the show at any point.
As of November 2020, the only surviving stars on the Green Bay Packers' first 2 Lombardi era teams were Boyd Dowler and Jerry Kramer. I have no idea if these guys are even still alive.
Jerry Kramer died recently.
Oh boy.
All right, can we end
Jerry Kramer died recently.
Boyd Dowler is still alive.
Thank you for watching the Football Studios. Make sure you enjoy football. Christmas is right around the corner. We only got a couple weeks for that, so stay tuned for that. There's going to be Christmas games this season. Stay tuned for college football's rivalry weekend, the championship weekends that have big playoff implications. Enjoy all of that. Football is slowly coming to a close, and we're going to be sad when it's over, so enjoy it while you can. And most importantly, run the damn ball. Have a good night.
Jerry Kramer's still alive.
Thank God.
Yep.
We got to get him on the show.